The moment that drop of blood essence appeared, a blood-red, divine glow burst outward, flooding the air with crushing pressure. Space itself seemed to tighten. Inside the swirling light, a dragon's shadow darted back and forth, ferocious and alive. For Huanglong, the oppression wasn't just power. It was bloodline suppression. His pupils trembled. Instinctive awe surged from the depths of his bones, followed by an uncontrollable hunger. This is dragon blood. His voice came out hoarse, almost shaking. And not just any dragon blood. Chu Yuan chuckled. He held it right in front of Huanglong's face like bait. Half-saint dragon blood. He tilted his head. Want it? Huanglong wasn't stupid. His breathing grew heavier. You're giving me half-saint dragon blood as a mount? Chu Yuan nodded casually. Not only that. He lifted a hand. Another drop appeared. Then another. Not one drop, Chu Yuan said calmly. A lot. Huanglong's scalp went numb. A lot? Did you kill a half-saint true dragon? Chu Yuan's smile deepened. It's not only dragon blood. As he spoke, more blood essences materialized in his palms, each one radiating terrifying aura, each one heavy enough to make the air feel like a mountain pressing down. Half-saint Qilin blood essence. Half-saint white tiger blood essence. Half-saint green phosphor eagle blood essence. Half-saint nine-headed lion blood essence. Huanglong stared as if his mind had stopped working. How many half-saints died? Among demonic beasts, ranks were iron laws. First rank matched body tempering. Second matched true essence. Third matched returning sea. Fourth matched divine alchemy. Fifth matched supernatural powers. Sixth matched soul palace. Seventh matched golden body. And the eighth and ninth ranks. Those were already comparable to the immortal realm. But even within the immortal realm, there were terrifying gaps. It was also called the life and death realm for a reason. One stage was habitat, the other was death. Eighth rank demonic beasts matched immortal habitat. Ninth rank matched immortal death. And half-saint? Half-saint stood above that. It was the bridge between immortal and holy. A realm immortals simply couldn't touch. Yet here, in a human's hands, were multiple half-saint blood essences. To Huanglong, that only meant one thing. Half-saint demonic beasts had been slaughtered, because no demonic beast would willingly hand over its natal blood essence. That was cutting out its own foundation. His suspicion rose along with his fear. If this human had such terrifying resources, why would he want a wild dragon like him as a mount? It felt wrong, almost insulting. He swallowed and asked directly, his tone unconsciously shifting from arrogance to caution. Why do you want me as your mount? Chu Yuan smiled faintly. Because I feel like it. Huanglong fell silent. Then Chu Yuan's voice turned calm, flat, and absolute. You don't have room to hesitate. Agree or die. Huanglong's body stiffened. Then, after one long breath, he lowered his head. Yes, it wasn't that he feared death. But if he could live, who would choose to die? Besides, Chu Yuan was offering too much. Not cowardice. Just impossible to refuse. Good, Chu Yuan said. Then don't resist. He took out the beast-taming bracelet, pierced his finger, and dripped a drop of blood essence onto it. The bracelet instantly flared with blinding light. A complex pattern formed in the air, twisting like a living seal. Under Chu Yuan's control, it sank into Huanglong's forehead. In an instant, a bond formed. With a single thought, Chu Yuan could kill Huanglong. If Huanglong ever dared to devour his master, he would die on the spot. And if Chu Yuan fell, Huanglong would perish with him. Of course, Chu Yuan could also end the contract whenever he wished. Chu Yuan's eyes narrowed slightly. Now, let's see if you could be enhanced 10,000 times. He activated his scanning vision and focused on Huanglong. But nothing appeared. No enhancement prompt. Chu Yuan frowned. Before, when I asked the system if other living creatures could be strengthened, it refused to explain and told me to explore it myself. So it really can't strengthen living beings. He frowned deeper, thinking faster. But it can strengthen dead things. Monster cores, blood essence, flesh, bones. His gaze sharpened. What about something taken from a living creature after it leaves the body? He turned to Huanglong. Give me a drop of your blood essence. Huanglong was confused, but now he was bound. He didn't dare resist and offered it immediately. Shu Yuan stored it in his interspatial ring and tested it. Result: it worked. Shu Yuan's lips curled. So as long as it leaves the body, it can be enhanced. Blood essence can. Monster cores can. But not the living creature itself. He glanced at Huanglong thoughtfully. He said earlier his monster core shouldn't be strengthened first, or it might draw suspicion. Fine. Then I'll feed him half-saint dragon blood first. Shu Yuan took out what looked like half-saint dragon blood again. In reality, it was Huanglong's own blood essence strengthened until it became something entirely different. But Huanglong had no way to know. The moment Huanglong sensed it, his whole body trembled in joy. This blood essence, it matches me perfectly. Thank you, Master. Of course it matches. It's literally yours. Shu Yuan almost laughed, but kept his face calm. The experiment was complete. If demonic beasts worked like this, then humans should be the same. Living people couldn't be strengthened directly, but blood essence taken from them likely could. That meant a future path, cultivating powerful followers. Not people as monstrous as him, with everything multiplied 10,000 times, but still terrifyingly strong. Shu Yuan sighed inwardly. Too bad my bloodline has already been strengthened 10,000 times. Even my own blood essence can't be enhanced anymore. Then he waved his hand lightly. Refine that drop. My mount can't be weak. Once you're done, I'll give you even greater benefits. Yes, Master, Huanglong replied obediently. Then he glanced at Si Qiushui with a cold expression. That woman, she's dangerous. She killed my brother. And when I hunted her, she threw her subordinates to die without hesitation. Master, be careful. Oh. Shu Yuan looked at Si Qiushui with fresh interest. Then he turned to Huanglong. Change into human form. It's tiring to talk while staring at a giant dragon. Yes. Light twisted, bone and scale compressed. In seconds, Huanglong became an old man. Shu Yuan sighed softly. When I have time, I'll find a stronger mount and preferably good-looking. Maybe even female. For now, Huanglong would do. He wasn't weak, and after refining the blood essence, he would only grow stronger. That meant Shu Yuan wouldn't need to personally handle every nuisance. And there was another advantage. Huanglong has mastered the Gengjin intent, Shu Yuan murmured. Later, I can have him release it for me to observe. Twice the results with half the effort. With that, Shu Yuan took out a jade slip, a trump card powerful enough to crush the immortal realm. Within it was the insight into the law of destruction. Of course, he couldn't directly comprehend the law itself. He had to begin with something simpler. Start with the intent of destruction. 2 hours passed in a blink. Shu Yuan finally caught a thread. The embryonic outline of the destruction intent was forming in his mind, faint but real, like a spark about to become flame. It wasn't only because of his talent and comprehension. His mastery of the spear, Dao, gave him a foundation, making it easier to grasp a force that thrived on pure, ruthless penetration. If this continues, I'll soon condense the rudimentary destruction intent. He was satisfied, and his brows lifted slightly. The woman had woken up. Si Qiushui opened her eyes groggily. The first thing she saw was a young man sitting cross-legged not far away. He was handsome, with a sharp heroic aura between his brows. When he looked over, his eyes seemed to hold faint starlight, calm and deep. Si Qiushui's heart tightened. So young, and his cultivation is on par with mine. What kind of genius is he? Her thoughts raced. Did he save me? But that wild dragon was terrifying. He shouldn't have been able to fight it head-on, unless he used some trump card. Then she noticed the cloth draped over her. She froze. Her expression changed instantly. She pulled it back and saw she was almost naked beneath it. A wave of humiliation and rage surged straight to her head. I was unconscious. Did he see everything? Did he touch me? Her aura exploded. Boom! A terrifying killing intent burst out like a blade unsheathed. In a flash, supernatural power surged over her body and formed a clean, luxurious robe. A silver sword appeared in her palm. Step by step, she walked toward Chu Yuan, eyes cold enough to freeze blood. "Was it you," she said, voice like ice, "who covered this princess with clothes?" Chu Yuan looked at her, brows knitting slightly. "I covered you. I also saved you from Huang Long, and I fed you a healing pill. Your life is the result." Si Qiushui's gaze sharpened. "Then you saw everything." "It was unavoidable," Chu Yuan replied flatly. "Aside from that, I didn't do anything excessive." "Pervert!" Shame and fury flashed through her face as she raised her sword. The blade pointed straight at Chu Yuan's eyes. "Gouge out your eyeballs. Right now. Otherwise, I'll kill you." Chu Yuan stared at her like she was insane. "I saved your life, and this is your response?" His tone turned colder. "Are you mentally ill?" He'd seen stupid plots like this in novels and laughed at them. He didn't expect to run into one in real life. Si Qiushui's anger flared. "How dare you speak to this princess like that?" She lifted her chin, arrogance pouring out of her like poison. "Because you saved me, I'm only taking your eyes. If not, you'd already be dead." She advanced, killing intent boiling. "Choose. Do it yourself, or I'll do it." Chu Yuan's gaze turned sharp as steel. "I don't care what princess you are," he said. "Threaten me again, and no one will save you." He wasn't some brainless hero who went soft the moment a woman showed up. Besides, she wasn't even enough to make him tolerate this nonsense. Si Qiushui's face twisted. "Bold. You dare threaten me? Today, I'll dig your eyes out with my own hands." She struck. The silver sword flashed like frost, stabbing straight toward Chu Yuan's eyes. "Idiot," Chu Yuan spat. The blade reached him and stopped. 2 fingers. That's all it took. He caught the sword between his fingers like it weighed nothing. Si Qiushui's pupils shrank. Before she could react, black gold power erupted. It condensed into a spear in Chu Yuan's hand, sharp enough to pierce the world. He thrust. The spear went through her chest. Blood burst out. "Ah!" Si Qiushui staggered, mouth spilling red as she stared down at the spear buried in her heart. Her face was pure disbelief. So fast, she couldn't understand it. She was a proud genius, born with the wood spirit body, stronger than others in the same realm. And yet she was killed in a single exchange. What she couldn't accept even more. He actually dared to kill her. You dare kill this princess." Chu Yuan's voice was cold, indifferent. "I can save you, and I can kill you. You brought it on yourself." Resentment flooded Si Qiushui's eyes. "I'm the 4th princess of Tianfeng Kingdom. My father loves me most. If you kill me, he will slaughter your 9 clans. Golden body experts will hunt you down. You're dead. You're dead." Chu Yuan didn't even blink. "Golden body," he said casually. "If he dares to come, I'll wipe out his 9 clans first." Power shook. Si Qiushui's eyes widened. Then her body exploded into a mist of blood. Chu Yuan flicked the storage ring off her remains with the spear tip and sighed. Unlucky. He truly couldn't understand. The fantasy world was dangerous enough that one wrong step meant death. How could someone be this stupid? Then again, the world was big. Every kind of bird existed. He checked the ring. It held plenty of good things. Huang Long walked over, eyes fixed on the blood mist with undisguised satisfaction. "Master!" Chu Yuan glanced at him. "You weren't joking." She really was trouble. Huang Long's eyes narrowed with pleasure. He'd wanted her dead for a long time. Chu Yuan put the ring away and said, "I'm going to break into the Soul Palace realm soon. Where's a good place?" "If Master doesn't dislike it," Huang Long replied, "my old lair, Huang Long Cave. It's secluded." "Good," Chu Yuan said. "Then we go." He stepped onto the dragon's back, and they shot into the distance. As they flew, Huang Long's thoughts churned. Decisive, ruthless, clean. His killing intent is pure, his actions even cleaner, and his strength terrifying. If he reaches Soul Palace, he'll be even more monstrous. Honestly, I'm not worthy to be his mount, but following him is my fortune. Tianfeng Kingdom, Imperial Palace. Boom! A terrifying aura erupted, sweeping across the capital like a storm, pressing down on countless lives. Inside the palace, the Emperor of Tianfeng Kingdom stared at a soul lamp. It had gone out. His face twisted with fury. Someone dared to kill my daughter. His voice shook with murderous rage. No matter who you are, you will pay. He slammed his palm down. Prepare to march to the restricted region of Baiduan Mountain. Qiu Shui went there, so she must have fallen there. Then his eyes burned with cold hatred. The royal bloodline aura of Tianfeng is unique. Anyone who kills my child will be stained by it. It lasts 3 months. I can find them with secret methods. I want to see who has the guts of a bear and the gall of a leopard. Man or beast, all must die. He paused. Then his voice turned even colder. And one more thing. Execute the families of every person who followed her into Baiduan Mountain. Let them be buried with my beloved daughter.
Hey everyone, Firescale Audiobooks here. If there's a novel you'd love to hear more of, you can support us on Patreon or Ko-fi. Depending on your tier, I'll make extra parts just for the stories you're most excited about. Usually I can only upload 4 to 5 parts of each novel, but with your support, we can go beyond that. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps more than you know.
The forbidden area of Baiduan Mountain, deep in the periphery, is infinitely close to the 3 real restricted areas. Huanglong Cave is only 10,000 miles away from the entrance of the 3 restricted areas. This moment, in the huge cave, Chu Yuan sat cross-legged in the air, his own black gold light blooming. Around him, all kinds of powerful treasures emerged. Many half-holy blood essence, half-holy medicine pill, mid-grade holy crystal. That's the dragon's blood grass at the level of the holy medicine. What is the identity of the master? Could it be that he is the son of the holy lord of sacred land? After seeing this scene, Huanglong, who was curled up and prepared to practice, was horrified to the extreme. All kinds of semi-holy level things are hard to come by. The same is true for mid-grade Saint Crystal. But what shocked him the most was the dragon's blood grass. It and its 7th rank wild dragon brother who died before, in this wild dragon cave, guard the heavenly and mortal treasures, which are dragon blood grass. It's just that the dragon blood grass they guard is only rank 7, and the master's dragon blood grass. It turned out to be a precious medicine at the holy level. How does this not shock it? In fact, this holy gray dragon's blood grass was obtained by Chu Yuan after 10,000 times enhanced with a 7th grade dragon's blood grass. And this 7th grade dragon's blood grass was naturally obtained in Si Qiushui's interspatial ring. Some of Si Qiushui's 10 Soul Palace royal guards died because of picking the 7th rank dragon's blood grass. But it was picked. 7th grade dragon blood grass can even cleanse the essence, let alone a holy grade. The wild dragon's eyes were full of longing, but it was restrained by it because it knew very well that that kind of thing was not something it could covet. Once you think about the master, it will be destroyed by the master-servant contract in your mind. Of course, even if there is no master-servant contract, it does not dare to presumptuously. The master's strength is too strong, so strong that it has no end in sight. Sacred gray dragon's blood grass, cleansing essence, plus various other treasures. This time, not only to hit the Soul Palace realm, but also to go all out to break through a few more small realms. One of the restricted areas of Baiduan Mountain, the ice-restricted area, is deep. Every moment, there is constant snow here, and the snow is flying. Boundless cold air filled this place. It was extremely cold. If there was a divine alchemy here, it would definitely not be able to last for a while, and it would turn into an ice sculpture. This is a real restricted area. The 6th order demonic beasts are everywhere, and the 7th order demonic beasts are as numerous as dogs. For the demonic beasts here, there are only 5 races: Snow Wolf, Ice Scorpion, Snow Fox, Ice Dragon, Ice Bear. In every race, there are demon kings of the 8th and 9th ranks. Even there is a semi-holy level. In the deepest part of the restricted area, there's a magnificent palace made entirely of ice, located here. In the ice palace, there are icicles propping up the place. In the innermost position, there is a 100-foot-high ice sculpture throne. On the throne sits an ice sculpture figure that looks like a human, but not human. At this moment, in the very center of the palace, a huge human cauldron, also made of ice, was hoisted from all directions by thick chains of ice and snow. And around this huge human cauldron, there are 5 figures standing impressively, and the aura of each figure is at the semi-holy level. A huge gray and white snow wolf, with a light blue divine light shining in its eyes, and an extremely pitch-black ice scorpion. Only the poisonous hook is as transparent as crystal. The snow fox with a half-human, half-demon body has 9 tails moving around erratically. The whole body is like an ice and snow dragon made of crystal, which looks the most noble. The snow-white-haired frost bear, apart from being bigger than ordinary bears and having crystal-colored paws, seems to have nothing special about it. There is no doubt that the half-saints of the 5 major races are gathered here. At this time, they maintained a stiff movement, injecting their own semi-holy power into the ice human cauldron. And among the human cauldron, there are many high-rank medicines of 7, 8, or 9 grades, as well as a looming petite figure. A semi-holy ice giant dragon spoke indifferently. Human Dan. Boom. 3 days later, in the Huanglong cave, Chu Yuan has been washed and marrowed by the sacred dragon's blood grass, and his body has grown a little bit. His blood is as deep as the sea, thick and endless, like a powerful humanoid demonic beasts. No, the terrifying power of blood. Even the demonic beasts would be ashamed. Even Huanglong, who has refined a lot of semi-holy blood essence, is less than 1,000th of Chu Yuan's in blood. What kind of freak is the master? Is he really a human race? Even the cubs of my dragon clan's pure-blooded true dragon are not as good as the master. The master is too mysterious. What is his origin? Wild Dragon was frightened, dumbfounded by Chu Yuan's energy and blood power. It had no doubt that Chu Yuan could blow him into a bloody mist with just a physical fist. The body of this seat is just like the soul. When this seat was very weak, it was strengthened 10,000 times. And with the improvement of the cultivation base, every time a realm is raised, the body is also strengthened. In addition, the cultivation soul, refining Xiangshanagen, a cultivation technique that is biased toward body training, has tempered the body again. I have taken many high-grade medicines and medicine pills to increase qi and blood before. This time, I went through Sheng Pinlong after washing the blood essence and cutting the marrow of the blood grass and absorbing some semi-holy blood essence. The blood of the flesh has been greatly enhanced again. That's why it's so scary. Chu Yuan sighed. Call. As soon as Chu Yuan exhaled and inhaled, qi, blood, and supernatural power surging. The next moment, the power of black and golden supernatural power suddenly swept out, majestic to the extreme, vast, and immeasurable. Master is about to break through the Soul Palace realm. Huanglong hurriedly ran outside the cave, for fear of being accidentally affected. The so-called Soul Palace realm is to open up a Soul Palace in the Sea of Consciousness Niwen Palace. Enter the Divine Soul and nourish Divine Sense. Soul Palace, open it for me. While Chu Yuan was talking to himself, the power of the black gold supernatural power surged, affecting the power of the soul, shaking the conscious Sea Niwen Palace. This process is very dangerous. If one is not careful and hurts the soul, he may become an idiot. Chu Yuan's soul power is so powerful. Others need countless impacts to break through the Niwen Palace. But for Chu Yuan, with just one impact, the Niwen Palace opened in an instant, and immediately after, Chu Yuan's spiritual power, the power pours directly into it, and the soul also pours into it. Waves of extremely powerful divine sense are brewing. Master is such a terrifying soul coercion. Huanglong's face turned pale. The moment the soul enters the Niwen Palace, Chu Yuan's soul pressure is naturally released, which makes Huanglong terrified. It is the 6th-order peak demonic beasts, and the soul is at least equivalent to the existence of the 9th stage peak of the human soul palace. But its soul is so insignificant in front of Chu Yuan's soul. Just the coercion of the soul itself can shake its soul. As far as Chu Yuan is concerned, hitting the Soul Palace realm is a matter of course and easy, without the slightest bottleneck at all. As he opened up the Soul Palace realm, his realm also directly broke through to the Soul Palace realm. Tianyin Zone, in the Palace of the Great Elder. At this moment, Yu Qianni was lying on his side on the jade bed, ready to check the latest news from the Jade Token. In Tianyin sect, no, to be precise, in Tianfeng Nation, and even in other surrounding countries, almost all of them use the same kind of communication Jade tokens. This kind of communication Jade card can only communicate text messages, and the scope is limited. The two sides of the communication must be within a radius of 100,000 miles before they can communicate with each other. Otherwise, the message cannot be sent out. This kind of thing is suitable for small-scale use. For example, last time, when Chu Yuan killed people in the outer sect, it was the outer sect elders who summoned the inner sect elders, and those inner sect elders rushed over. And the range is too large, beyond 100,000 miles, it is useless. For example, when Chu Yuan beheaded Si Qiushui had a messenger jade token, but she was too far away from the Tianfeng Kingdom's imperial city, and she couldn't send the message out at all, let alone the Tianfeng Kingdom's imperial city. Even if she wanted to send a message to the city lord of the royal family member in Hengduan City, she couldn't do it. Just outside the Hengduan Mountains, there are 500,000 miles, not to mention there are about 400,000 miles in the restricted area of Baiduan Mountains. Therefore, until Si Qiushui died, he couldn't call for help. In fact, there are even more powerful jade cards for sending messages, which can send messages for millions of miles or even tens of thousands of miles. But too expensive and too rare. In Tianfeng Nation, those who send messages for millions of miles are rare, and those who send messages for thousands of miles are rare. As for the more advanced ones, it's not just the ability to send texts, it can even send pictures. However, in a backward country like Tianfeng Country, no one owns this kind of thing. However, although there is no powerful communication jade card, there is an organization called Master of Everything. This organization is very large, exists in many countries, and is responsible for delivering all kinds of explosive news. Of course, it's not free. Anyone who wants to know some news needs to go to a nearby pass-through organization to buy it. After all, it is not easy for a know-it-all organization. If you want to spread the news, you need someone to be stationed every 100,000 miles, and some places are extremely dangerous. Of course, in places that are too dangerous, they're not stupid and tough. They will detour and build a complete intelligence route. They will give up where is really impossible, for example, the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain. It is precisely because of the existence of such an organization that all kinds of news will not spread too slowly. Not long ago, Feng Yun, the core disciple of Tianyin sect, went to the Wanshitong station in Tianyin City to buy some recent breaking news. Of course, these breaking news can be chosen, such as specific people, specific places. She chose Chu Yuan. Of course, it wasn't what she wanted, but Yu Qianni asked her to. In the past 2 months, Yu Qianni, the elder, has been paying attention to Chu Yuan. Every 3 days, Feng Yun will be asked to buy news about Chu Yuan. Of course, not everyone has the news, only those who have done more explosive things have it. And Chu Yuan happens to be on this list. In the past 2 months, the speed at which Chu Yuan comprehended the spear intent was astonishing. It was unique in Tianfeng Nation, so it was naturally spread. 3 days ago, Yu Qianni got the news that Chu Yuan would soon finish comprehending 2.5 layers of spear intent. 3 days, he should have entered the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain. However, with his cultivation base, it might not be easy to find Qingxue. It's a pity. After that battle, I was injured too badly, realm fell sharply, and I couldn't use a lot of power. Otherwise, I must go to those restricted areas of Baiduan Mountain, alas. Yu Qianni's face was full of loneliness, and then he began to carefully check the latest news about Chu Yuan in the communication jade tablet. Good boy, you really have comprehended 2.5 layers of spear intent. 7.5 small realms were broken in a row. Hey, why are you more evil than I was before? Yu Qianni was very surprised. What? The golden body of Tianlong Temple. Damn it. In Yu Qianni's eyes, killing intent emerged. Where's her brother Qingxue? How is it? Sure enough, isn't he the opponent of Tianlong Temple Bald Donkey? And many more? Chu Yuan suddenly mastered the gun rules? Real or fake? It killed the bald donkey of Tianlong Temple in seconds. Could it be that it is really the rules of the gun? The steel retains a great spear intent this. The reincarnation of the ancient saint. Wait, Yu Qianni slapped his head suddenly. Is my brain broken? Why didn't I think of this at the beginning? His situation is really in line with the reincarnation of the ancient saint. Yu Qianni thought about it carefully. It seems that Chu Yuan is really the case. Why am I so stupid? My brain is so funny. Why did I suspect that he was taken away? Yu Qianni gave a wry smile. Then he laughed. Okay, since it is the reincarnation of the ancient saint, there are many methods, maybe we see. And bring Qingxue back. Just hurry up. Qingxue's condition is getting worse and worse. Yu Qianni glanced at the soul lamp on the bedside. The soul lamp is connected to the soul of the master. In the dark, it can be synchronized. The master is alive, and the soul lamp will never go out. Moreover, if the soul lamp dims, it means that the master's condition is getting worse. But at this moment, Gu Qingxue's soul lamp flickered nonstop, bright and dark. This situation has been going on for more than a month. Hongduan City, the city lord bows down. An incomparably huge golden chariot pulled by 5-6 tear dragons stopped in the city lord's mansion, and a burly man in imperial robes stepped out of the chariot. The majesty that has been in the top position for a long time, between the brows, is not angry and majestic. Si Qiuheng pays homage to his majesty. Si Qiuheng, the lord of Hongduan City, bowed to the ground. Nephew, you don't need to be too polite. Emperor Si Danyang of Tianfeng Kingdom waved his hand. Thank you, your majesty. Si Qiuheng stood up. Qiu Shui fell in the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain. I asked you to send someone to investigate. How did the investigation go? Si Danyang asked. Returning to your majesty, we have already sent people in to use secret methods to investigate, and the results will come out soon. But Si Qiuheng paused. It seems that Chu Yuan is also in the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, and it is not ruled out that he did it. Yes, if someone else did it, it would be easy to deal with it. But if Chu Yuan did it, Chu Yuan is that the one who was rumored to be a waste of the Tianyin sect, and then soared into the sky, and a few days ago he mastered the rules of the gun. Is it considered to be the reincarnation of the ancient saint? Si Danyang said in a deep voice. Exactly. Si Qiuheng said, if he really killed Qiu Shui, even if he is the reincarnation of the ancient saint, he must die. Si Danyang said seriously. Hearing this, Si Qiuheng's pupils shrank suddenly. You know, Chu Yuan mastered the rules of the gun, and it was rumored that he even killed C.I. Kong, who was in the second stage of the golden body in seconds. Why? Si Danyang doesn't seem to be afraid of the other party. Is there any earth-shattering trump card? Get ready and follow me to the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain. Si Danyang said. Yes. Si Qiuheng nodded. Suddenly, Si Danyang looked towards the sky, squinting his eyes. An eminent monk from Tianlong Temple. There are more than one monks in the immortal realm. Then Chu Yuan will be in big trouble. It's best that Qiu Shui didn't kill him, otherwise he will be in more trouble. Everyone, Hongduan City is here. It's time to disembark, Qian Shi said on a flying boat in the Feiqian Pavilion branch of Hongduan City. Since Mr. Chu understood the rules of the way of guns and left the Deshang spear intent on the stone tablet in the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, the number of people who come to Hongduan City every day has increased by more than 10 times. Many people want to witness the Deshang spear intent. After all, according to the rumors, Mr. Chu is almost definitely the reincarnation of the ancient saint. There are still a lot of strong people at the Soul Palace realm who want an insight into the spear intent he left behind so as to break through the golden body realm. He left behind a lot of good fortune. Hey, I really didn't expect Mr. Chu to grow up so fast. 2 months ago, I helped the old man kill the 5th-level upgraded queen bee, saving the old man's life. It's only been 2 months now, and he can instantly kill the golden body. It's like a dream. It's unbelievable. Qianxi was filled with emotion. But at this moment, Hengduan was thousands of miles away from the city. 2 barefoot monks, one fat and one thin, one old and one young, were walking slowly. The fat monk is very young, and the thin monk is very old. Every time they take a step, a golden lotus flower will grow under their feet. Every step, across thousands of miles in an instant. Hengduan's city, we're here. The fat monk stretched. Don't linger, let's just go. Chu Yuan is rumored to be the reincarnation of the ancient saint. Although he doesn't believe it, it's better to kill him as soon as possible to avoid long nights and dreams. The light flickered, and the killing intent filled the air. The reincarnation of the ancient saint is pure nonsense, the fat monk said disdainfully. From the point of view of the poor monk, it is at most a semi-saint who has comprehended some rules, and for some reason took away the one named Chu Yuan, then pretend to be a ghost. The reincarnation of the ancient saint, which one was born or awakened Su Hui, was not accompanied by a powerful vision of heaven and earth. But I have never heard of any vision that appeared in Feng Nation this day. Whatever happened to him, anyway, kill my people from Tianlong Temple, behead him first, to prevent future troubles. Let's go. Withered finished speaking. He headed towards the Hengduan Mountains. The fat monk followed closely behind. Just as the 2 monks from Tianlong Temple were staying above Hengduan City, terrifying Sanskrit sounds enveloped Hengduan City, causing countless people to feel unceasing pain. Fortunately, they come and go quickly. What happened just now? The Sanskrit sound is in my ears. This is the rumored method of Tianlong Temple. Damn it, this is too overbearing. Speak carefully. If they hear you, you will only return to the cultivation base of the sea territory, and you will end up dead. Has the strong man from Tianlong Temple arrived? It seems that he is going to seek revenge on Chu Yuan. But isn't Chu Yuan rumored to be the reincarnation of the ancient saint? How dare people from Tianlong Temple? Who knows? But since people dare to make a move, they are sure of it. I have a hunch that the Hengduan Mountains and Baiduan Mountains restricted areas will not be peaceful. F***CK. Isn't that obvious? Premonition. Many cultivators in Hengduan City started talking. At this moment, Huanglong Cave, as Chu Yuan's cultivation base breakthrough reached the Soul Palace realm, a great transformation took place in his whole body. The black gold supernatural power became thicker and vaster. His physical body and chi and blood improved again, and his aura became stronger and stronger, like a great terror is waking up, with immeasurable divine light, like gods and demons. Faintly, one can see a towering palace behind his head, and in the palace, a towering figure is sitting in it, releasing the terrifying divine sense and immeasurable divine power. The phantom reflected by the Soul Palace. His breath has not restrained. His cultivation base improvement didn't stop there either. Instead, they all continued to soar, breaking through continuously in the Soul Palace realm. Soul Palace realm, first stage peak. Soul Palace realm, second stage. Soul Palace realm, second stage peak. Soul Palace realm, third stage. Soul Palace realm, third stage peak. Every moment, his cultivation base increases exponentially, becoming more and more terrifying. In the end, his cultivation base stays at the peak of the third stage of the Soul Palace realm. Moreover, the foundation is still very solid and extremely perfect. If he blindly pursuing realm, he was even able to break through to the peak of ninth stage, but he didn't do that, but chose to fight steadily. Cultivation base realm is important, but the foundation is also very important. Cultivation is like building a house. A tall building is built on the ground. The better the foundation, the higher the cultivation. As expected of the master, this is too terrifying. Most of the Soul Palace realms of the human race, which break through a small realm, either need decades or even hundreds of years of accumulation, or those who are favored by heaven at least need a few years and a few months, and the master just break through to Soul Palace realm. Cultivation base has been continuously improved, directly break through a few small realms again. This is too heaven-defying, especially after someone else's cultivation base breakthrough. It takes a lot of time to consolidate the cultivation base, while the owner keeps breaking through, but his cultivation base does not need to be consolidated at all. It is extremely stable and solid. I really admire it. It is my honor to be able to follow such a master. Wild Dragon has already been deeply impressed by Chu Yuan. In its view, Chu Yuan is the kind of true heaven's favored one who can participate in the existence of great struggles. It believes that Chu Yuan's future achievements are by no means as simple as the Holy Land. It's about being able to achieve the kind of realm that all living beings can't see. No, it should be the kind of realm that all living beings can't even see. It's a pity I'm such a waste. The half-holy dragon blood given by the Master is obviously suitable for me, but until now, I haven't refined 1,000th of it. If I can finish refining it, I will definitely be able to become a pure-blooded wild dragon. A true pure-blooded dragon. I just don't know how long it will take to refine. After my refinement is completed, the Master may have already broken through to a higher realm. At that time, I am afraid that I will be useless to the Master. Thinking of this, Huanglong couldn't help feeling lonely. It was his honor and even his opportunity to be able to follow such a master, but he couldn't grasp this opportunity. He is extremely slow in refining the semi-holy dragon's blood alone. Actually, neither can it. The semi-holy dragon's blood was originally obtained after its blood essence was enhanced 10,000 times. With its current cultivation base, it is impossible to refine it because it simply cannot withstand the power carried by the blood essence. It's like a jar that was originally filled with water. Take out the water, increase the quality and quantity of the water 10,000 times, and then put it into this jar. Can this jar hold it? Can it withstand it? Obviously not. The wild dragon only refined the part it could bear. Even so, its strength is more than 10 times stronger than above. If you want to refine more, the progress is too slow. If you want to refine quickly, unless its cultivation base is improved, the higher the cultivation base, the more it can bear, and the refining will be easier. But it is too difficult to improve the cultivation base because the improvement of demonic beast cultivation base is actually the same as that of human race. If the 6th level demonic beasts want to advance to the 7th level, they must also comprehend an artistic conception to Xiaoqing. But Huanglong's Gongjin artistic conception is only 2.5 layers, and it took nearly 1,000 years to comprehend these 2.5 layers. So, it is impossible to comprehend the 3rd layer in a short time. Just when Huanglong was depressed, Chu Yuan sighed. At this moment, Chu Yuan felt the turbulent and boundless cultivation base in his body, and he clenched his fist in satisfaction. This terrifying power is really cool, and with the divine sense in the Soul Palace, it will be even easier to investigate anything in the future. It's convenient. Let me try divine sense. The next moment, with Chu Yuan as the center, the divine sense spreads out 10 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles, 10,000 miles, 100,000 miles. It can't spread towards the back. Is there something that hinders divine sense on the side of the 3 major restricted areas? Is it formation or other restrictions? Forget it, never mind. Look at other places. Hey, the forbidden space here is 10 times higher than the outside, and the maximum flight outside is 3,000 meters, but here it can fly 30,000 meters. However, it's only 70,000 to 80,000 miles away from the Huanglong Cave, and it's only 30,000 meters away, and it's only 3,000 meters away. Moreover, not only is the air forbidden, divine sense can't detect higher places. It seems that there are indeed powerful formations or restrictions. In one thought, everything is collected in the mind. Is this the Soul Palace realm? Chu Yuan is experiencing the magical effect of divine sense. Wherever divine sense passes, he can see everything in his eyes. He has seen many scenes. There are demonic beasts and human races fighting, and some demonic beasts are staring at the treasure medicine that is about to mature. There are races fighting each other, and there are races sneaking, and there are, in some hidden woods and caves, men and women are sticking together to play a game of superiority. This is also the case among demonic beasts, male and female. God, he also saw that some dark-skinned humans attacked the female lizard. Too crazy. Is this something he can see? Haven't paid yet. Chu Yuan took back the divine sense, and he thought of a problem. His spirit is already strong, so the divine sense can cover a radius of more than 100,000 miles. What about other soul palace realms? How much can it cover? So he asked, Huanglong, my divine sense can only cover a radius of 100,000 miles. How much can your divine sense cover? Although Desolate Dragon is not in the Soul Palace realm, the sixth-order demonic beasts are equivalent to the Soul Palace realm and can also release divine sense. What's more, Desolate Dragon is still comparable to the sixth-order peak demonic beasts in the 9th stage of the Soul Palace realm. Divine sense? Master, wait. Huanglong suddenly widened his eyes. It's divine sense, what's wrong? Chu Yuan asked, puzzled. Master, what did you mean just now? How far can your divine sense cover? 100,000 miles. Huanglong swallowed. His huge throat moved, and his shocked expression was quite funny. Well, it's more than 100,000 miles away. Is there any problem? Chu Yuan asked. God, my master, Huanglong shouted. In this forbidden area of Baiduan Mountain, divine sense is suppressed, and my divine sense can only cover 800 or 900 miles, not even 1,000 miles. Master, how did you do it? Also, did you use divine sense just now? I didn't feel it all, Master. Your divine sense is much stronger than mine. Hearing the words of Huanglong, Chu Yuan immediately understood. No wonder Huanglong was so shocked. It turned out that he was really outrageous. Outrageous. Is it more than 100 times stronger than Huanglong? And the wild dragon can't feel that I release the divine sense? Chu Yuan nodded slightly. Thinking about it was normal, because his spirit had already been strengthened 10,000 times. Divine sense is just a manifestation of one aspect of the soul. Besides, I am now at the peak of the 3rd stage of the Soul Palace realm. When the cultivation base continues to improve, the divine sense will become stronger and stronger. Moreover, it should not only be 100 times stronger than Huanglong the above, but the suppression of divine sense here is the stronger the divine sense, the stronger the suppression. Chu Yuan concluded that he was going to be boosted 10,000 times by the divine soul, and then break through all the way. How could he be only 100 times stronger than Huanglong? That is absolutely impossible. Therefore, one reason is that his cultivation base has not reached the 9th stage peak of the Soul Palace realm, and it is not at the same level as the Wild Dragon. And the other reason is that the suppression here becomes more severe as it goes on. I just don't know if the semi-holy divine sense can cover 100,000 miles here. Chu Yuan murmured, Congratulations, Master, for your great strength. Huanglong congratulated. Chu Yuan nodded. The Soul Palace realm is really good, and its strength has improved a lot. Moreover, the Soul Palace realm has a lifespan of 3,000 years, so it can live for a long time. The Divine Alchemy realm is 800 years away. Supernatural powers, life expectancy 1,500 years. Soul Palace realm, lifespan 3,000 years. Golden Body realm, life expectancy 5,000 years. As for the Immortal realm, it starts with 10,000. The further you get to the back, the more you can live. Of course, it's not unreasonable to have more lifespan. The further you go to the back of realm, the bigger the gap and the harder it is to improve. Naturally, it takes a lot of time to accumulate. Chu Yuan seemed to have thought of something. He widened his eyes and said to himself, Shen can also be strengthened 10,000 times? Why didn't I think of it before? Wrong. To be precise, why didn't the system prompt you before? System can Shu Yuan be enhanced 10,000 times. Shu Yuan asked directly from his heart. Ding! Shu Yuan can also be regarded as the resource of the host, which can be multiplied by 10,000 times. The system replied. Heard the words. Chu Yuan's face darkened involuntarily, and he thought, then why didn't you bring it up with the body, soul, aptitude, and blood before? Ding! Some resources need to be discovered and excavated by the host itself. The system beep sounded again. Chu Yuan. All right. For a moment, he was speechless. Can the system be blamed? What people say seems to make sense. Forget it. It's not too late to know now. System, manifest the life essence. I want to enhance it 10,000 times. Next, Chu Yuan said. Host Shuyuan, 3,500 years, could be enhanced 10,000 times. Yes/no? Soul Palace Realm, lifespan 3,000 years. This 3,000 years is not the highest, but the lowest. It is the beginning. Ordinary Soul Palace Realm can live for 3,000 years. And some Soul Palace realms have energy, blood, and physique that are far superior to those of the same level. And some cultivate wood-type cultivation techniques, which can prolong life. Naturally, it will live longer than ordinary Soul Palace realm. There's also the kind of wood spirit body with special physique or other vigorous physique, which can easily live longer. Even there's a medicine pill that prolongs life. Eating it can also prolong life. Ask for flowers. But life extension is not endless. The Soul Palace realm can extend lifespan by up to 500 years. In other words, 3,500 years is the ultimate. Human race, it is like this. As for demonic beasts, the lifespan is several times longer than that of humans. This is blessed, no way. And Chu Yuan's longevity is already at the pinnacle of Soul Palace realm. 10,000 times stronger. Chu Yuan did not hesitate. Directly selected 10,000 times. Enhanced. As for waiting to cultivate to a higher realm with more lifespan, then enhance it. It's not that Chu Yuan didn't think about it. It's just that he felt that his lifespan was already long enough, and after being strengthened 10,000 times, it would be even longer. And these lifespans are long enough for him to grow, to be invincible, or even immortal. After all, he is a guy with a system. If he can't become invincible in the shortest time, then he is a waste that even the system can't handle. 100,000 years, no, it can be a little longer, up to 1,000,000 years. He should be invincible and even immortal. After all, some traversers have lived forever for thousands of years, or tens of thousands of years. He can't be too bad. If you can't live forever for 1,000,000 years, just find a piece of tofu and crash it to death. FFLX. Since he feels that he is sure to achieve eternal life within 1,000,000 years at most. Then, if they can live forever, how meaningful is life? Therefore, let's strengthen it 10,000 times now. Maybe it can bring some unexpected improvement to the strength. Ding! 1,000-fold enhancement success. The host's lifespan has been increased to 35 million years. The body of the host will receive a baptism of longevity. 35 million years. Incredibly long. Moreover, the Shuyuan baptism. Isn't the benefit coming? As soon as the system's voice fell, Chu Yuan felt that his body was sublimating inexplicably, and a general vitality appeared in his body. It didn't rise much. Ding! Congratulations to the host for awakening his physique, the acquired longevity body. The system's notification tone suddenly sounded. F***K. Chu Yuan was immediately stunned. Can this still create a physique? This seat also has a special physique. To say I'm not excited would be a lie. System, what is a long-lived body and an acquired long-lived body? Chu Yuan asked. Ding! Chongqing body, divided into heaven and acquired. Innate longevity body. When some creatures are born, their lifespan is 1,000 times stronger than creatures of the same level, and they can form an innate longevity body. Innate longevity body. The birth of an innate longevity body is the capital of Deva. Acquired longevity body. After a creature is born, due to some special reasons, its longevity is 1,000 times stronger than that of creatures of the same level, and it can form an acquired longevity body. If the quality is lower than that of Deva, it will be upgraded to Deva. If it is originally Deva or exceeds Deva, then it will no longer be promoted. Note, whether it is an innate longevity body or an acquired longevity body, they are essentially the same. The only characteristics are more longevity, stronger vitality, and the capital of Deva. In addition, there is no other. He works. After reading the explanation of the system, Chu Yuan's forehead was covered with black lines. I thought it was some awesome physique, but it turned out that it was just a manifestation of living a long life. And the capital of Deva. Isn't this the most common special constitution? No wonder, after the so-called Shuyuan baptism, I didn't get much improvement. How can the physique that can be awakened be so mediocre for beings of the same level with 1,000 times the lifespan? Chu Yuan couldn't understand. But it seems that it is not without benefits. If you live a long time, it may be easier to understand the artistic conception or rules of time. Chu Yuan sighed. Originally, it sounded like an awesome name, but in the end, it was almost simply a matter of living longer. A system is also a resource. After being strengthened 10,000 times, will it change? Chu Yuan thought to himself, the system is awakened, and it can naturally be strengthened 10,000 times. It's just that he didn't dare to have too much hope. After all, the physique that is supposed to live long, after being strengthened 10,000 times, is it simply to live longer? That's all. It's not bad to live long. At least you don't have to worry about running out of life essence. Chu Yuan also looked away. It already has a lifespan of tens of millions of years. And if it is strengthened 10,000 times, it will be 100 billion years. Tut-tut. Not to mention in this fantasy world, even in the prehistoric world, hundreds of billions of years are not a lot. Host physique, acquired longevity body, can be strengthened 10,000 times, yes/no. The familiar selection panel appears. Chu Yuan clicked to proceed without hesitation. The next moment, the system prompt sounds. Ding! Successfully strengthened 10,000 times and obtained the immortal body. Chu Yuan was taken aback. What an awesome name. It shouldn't be too bad. System. Introduce the eternal life body. Ding! Eternal immortality body. Supreme physique, supreme aptitude. Unique in eternity, immortal. Wide. Chu Yuan's lifespan has already reached the ultimate soul palace realm. 3,500 years. After 10,000 times of enhancement, it becomes 35 million years. And after 10,000 times of enhancement, it is at least 350 billion years. Shoyuan, which is 1,000 times stronger than creatures of the same level, can awaken the longevity body. But Chu Yuan's first 10,000 times stronger. In fact, Shoyuan is 10,000 times stronger than creatures of the same level. It is 10 times the condition for awakening a long-lived body. It's just the awakening of the acquired longevity body. A stronger physique has not been awakened. And after the acquired longevity body was strengthened 10,000 times, the physique obtained made Chu Yuan laugh, especially after getting the systematic explanation. Eternal immortality, supreme physique, unrivaled qualifications, the only one ever, live forever. Just this introduction, how domineering. Spiritual body, divine body, sacred body, Tao body. Since it dares to be called the supreme physique, it must at least start with the Tao physique. And the supreme aptitude also made him happy. Although he didn't know how powerful it was, it must be more powerful than his current Deva aptitude 7.5 times. And the only one in the ages, there is no doubt that in the whole world, even in the ages, there's only him, the immortal body of the ages, and he is the only one. And immortality, one is longevity, the longevity is long and long, and the other is immortality, the original vitality is endless and indelible. At this moment, all kinds of information about the immortal body flooded into Chu Yuan's mind. Chu Yuan quickly sat cross-legged in the air and closed his eyes. At the same time, a terrifying change took place in Chu Yuan's body, and an eternal and immortal aura emanated from him. In an instant, his physical body, blood, bones, spirit, aptitude, sexuality, everything about him is undergoing a huge transformation. An arbitrariness of eternity and immortality is condensing. At this moment, Huang Long was dumbfounded. The master was still talking to it just now. Why did he sit there cross-legged in a blink of an eye? And how could the aura on his body be so terrifying? It lay directly on the ground. Its body, blood, bones, and soul were all trembling instinctively. It couldn't stop even if it wanted to. It was too small, like an ant facing the sky. His pupils trembled, and he was terrified. He buried his head on the ground, not daring to lift it up. Boom! At this time, in the forbidden area of Baiduan Mountain, Hunduan Mountains, Tianfeng Kingdom, Yuhua Dynasty, countless continents, countless realms, all appeared visions of eternal blue sky. In the visions, the long river of time rushes by. Tens of thousands of years are but a moment of flickering. A figure that transcends heaven and earth steps on chaos and holds the boundless sky in his hands, walks in the long river of time. He is boundless and supreme, and time has passed billions of years. Years have become eternity. He is still standing. Although it is only a vision, there is still a majestic aura of eternity and immortality. In front of this figure in the vision of the eternal blue sky, even if it is the existence of countless realms far beyond the holy realm, I still feel that I am as small as an ant. At this moment, countless creatures raised their heads and stared at the sky. There were even powerful beings staring at the chaos. Because visions are everywhere, countless creatures were dumbfounded. Some of the ancient existence of the sacred land, the taboo existence of the supreme orthodoxy, are dignified to deduce the secret, wanting to know why the vision arises. Regardless of the distance, Hengduan City, Hengduan Mountains, Baiduan Mountain Forbidden Zone, the people here and the demonic beasts all raised their heads and stared at the sky in astonishment. At this time, Huang Long restrained his trembling body and slightly raised his head to glance at the sky. No one could see his face clearly, but Huang Long knew that that figure must be its owner, because the source of the vision of the blue sky is the master. At this moment, behind the master is the phantom of the eternal blue sky. I was wrong. I was very wrong. The proud son of heaven. These words are simply a blasphemy against the master. The master does not need to fight against the Tao. Master, he is destined to suppress the existence of an era. A proud son, a peerless evildoer. No one can compete with the master. In front of the master, the Tao will also be eclipsed. The master is destined to suppress all dissatisfaction in the world. My desolate dragon is just a low-level, mixed-blooded dragon clan. How can I be able to follow my master? It's my wild dragon's luck to be able to follow my master. Even if I die, I will die without regret. Huang Long sighed unceasingly. It felt that it was the luckiest mount in the world. The vision came suddenly and dissipated quickly. Within half an hour, the vision disappeared. This indicates that Chu Yuan's physique has completely transformed. Fortunately, the eternal immortality physique is enhanced 10,000 times, and there is a system to help integrate it. Otherwise, I don't know how long it will take to complete the transformation. Chu Yuan murmured, "What an immortal body!" Chu Yuan clenched his fists, looked inside himself, and was extremely satisfied. He has transformed perfectly, and there is endless vitality in his body. Now, even if he is beaten into a blood mist, he can still be reborn. Moreover, he can be reborn countless times until his origin is completely destroyed. Cultivation base breakthrough 2. After feeling that cultivation base could no longer be suppressed, Chu Yuan decisively chose to let go. Soul Palace Realm 4th Stage. Soul Palace Realm 4th Stage Peak. Soul Palace Realm 8th Stage. Soul Palace Realm 8th Stage Peak. Soul Palace Realm 9th Stage. Soul Palace Realm 9th Stage Peak. In the blink of an eye, he broke through to the extreme Soul Palace Realm. He just broke through to the Soul Palace Realm not long ago. However, it's not over. Golden Movement Technique Phase. Congeal. Chu Yuan whistled softly. Golden State. It is necessary to use the power of Xiaoqing's artistic conception to communicate with the power of heaven and earth, combine with one's own power, condense the golden body, and condense the Dharma. Chu Yuan used, of course, Xiaoqing's spear intent, although he has mastered the rules of the spear, but to condense the golden body, it only needs the power of Xiaoqing's artistic conception. Xiaoqing's spear intent enters his body. The power of communicating with heaven and earth enters his body. The power of supernatural powers joins, and the power of divine soul joins, breaking the shackles of the soul palace realm and condensing the golden body. Immediately, golden light bloomed in Chu Yuan's body. His flesh and blood body's defense was greatly increased, and the continuous power of heaven and earth gathered behind him a Dharma chamber of self. Yes, in this world, the condensed golden movement technique, the condensed, are all the Dharma of the self. It's not the kind of flashy ones, the kind that condenses any Dharma image after comprehending any artistic conception. Everything is the Dharma of the original self. There are no laws of heaven and earth, or the appearance of chaos. Artistic conception is just a tool and power. I am the truth. Behind Chu Yuan, the Dharma form of myself was quickly condensed. The Dharma of the self has endless magical uses, can be big or small, and can communicate with the power of heaven and earth, and the increase in combat power is terrifying. Golden State, Country. Golden Body, First Stage. Golden Body Realm, First Stage Peak. Golden Body Second Stage. Golden Body Second Stage Peak. Golden Body Realm, Sixth Stage. Golden Body Realm, Sixth Stage Peak. Golden Body Realm, Seventh Stage. Ninth Stage. The peak of Ninth Stage. Boom! Deshang shot into Immortal. Immortal Realm, First Stage. It wasn't until the breakthrough Immortal First Stage that Chu Yuan's cultivation base stopped. In just a short while, his cultivation base went directly from the Soul Palace realm, skipped the Golden Body realm, and reached the Immortal realm. If you count the previous ones, then he has reached the Immortal realm from the Divine Ability realm. How heaven-defying. In fact, the cultivation base can still be improved, but in the Immortal realm, it is necessary to comprehend the artistic conception of life and death, and this seat has not comprehended it. Therefore, the regiment stopped. However, with my aptitude, it won't take long before I can comprehend it. For the current strength, Chu Yuan was really satisfied. Who would have thought? He just had a whim to increase his lifespan 10,000 times. Just came up with an awesome immortal body. Let his cultivation base directly soar all the way. Take a look at the properties panel. Chu Yuan thought. Then check it out. Host, Chu Yuan. Physique, eternal immortality physique. Qualification? Cultivation base, immortal realm, first stage. Cultivation technique, Black Yuan, boundless method, Tianjiu, Xiaoqing, Shun Ziyang Shanajin, Tianjiu, Xiaoqing. Martial skill, mysterious dragon spear technique, mysterious level best, perfect. Avenue, rules of gun road on the first floor. Chu Yuan's complexion is extremely strange. What does the aptitude full of question marks mean? Could be a system bug. Forget it. Let's just ask the question mark. It's good to be strong anyway. After all, it's the highest qualification. As for how strong, Chu Yuan looked at the 2 heaven-level cultivation techniques. Try it and you'll know. Next, Chu Yuan intends to practice 2 heavenly level cultivation techniques to test his aptitude, how powerful it is. Master, you broke through to the immortal realm in one breath. As expected of the master, Huanglong was not shocked at all. The master directly skips the golden body realm and becomes immortal. Isn't this normal? Sure enough, it's a great spear intent. It seems that this Chu Yuan really shouldn't be underestimated. It's better to kill him as soon as possible. Let's go. In front of the stone tablet in the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, the thin monk from Tianlong Temple glanced at it and said, "The vision of the blue sky just now." The fat monk couldn't recover for a long time. Maybe some extraordinary person was born. The skinny monk thought for a while and said, Isn't there a vision more terrifying than this one 500 years ago? At that time, the boundless vision of chaos was full of it lasted for 3 months. Rumor has it that the legendary chaos body may have been born. Yes, if you don't tell me, I almost can't remember it. The fat monk said, forget it, don't care about his vision, as long as it's not Chu Yuan's. Of course it can't be him. The thin monk firmly believed, how could an existence that could cause such a vision appear in the little Tianfeng country? The figures of the two disappeared quickly. Not long after, the golden chariot appeared immediately, stopped in front of the stele, and then went to the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain. In less than half an hour, the Heiyuan Emperor's Law and the Divine Elephant Mountain and River Strength will be completed. Now, in the Wild Dragon Cave, Chu Yuan was surprised by the speed of own cultivation. To know, it took him about a month to cultivate the 2 heavenly level cultivation techniques to a small level before on the 91st floor. And the difficulty of cultivation technique to Shang is more than 10 times more difficult than Xiaoqing. Based on his original aptitude, it would take at least 1 year before he could cultivate to great success. But now, in less than half an hour, you will be able to cultivate to perfection. This qualification can be called extremely terrifying. Simply, let's just cultivate to perfection. Chu Yuan made up his mind. Less than an hour, 2 heaven-level cultivation techniques are directly completed. It seems that the sky-level cultivation technique is no longer a problem. You have to practice the cultivation technique of saint level or above. Chu Yuan rummaged through the interspatial ring. Saint-level cultivation technique. Of course he didn't. However, after the earth-level cultivation technique is strengthened 10,000 times, it should be the holy-level cultivation technique. He does have prefecture-level cultivation techniques. Among the treasures given to him by those people at the stele in the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, it is naturally impossible to have a prefecture-level cultivation technique. However, Ci Kong exists. So did Si Qiushui. Si Qiushui only has this earth-level mid-grade cultivation technique, named Imu Chongchun Kungfu, which suits her with spirit body and has great healing and life-prolonging effects. But for this seat, it is tasteless. The earth-level cultivation technique of Ci Kong has 3 gates, 2 prefecture-level high-grade ones, and 1 prefecture-level middle-grade one. Why don't you even have the best earth-level products? Chu Yuan felt a little disgusted. At any rate, it is the Golden Body Elder of Tenryuji Temple. That's it. Since Tenryuji Temple has an immortal realm, there must be a cultivation technique at that level, right? You can't get a sky-level cultivation technique. Why the hell can't you even get an earth-level best? Rubbish. Earth-level top-rank cultivation technique. After being strengthened 10,000 times, you could get the most holy-level top-rank cultivation technique. And the strength of this seat has improved rapidly, and then you have to keep changing cultivation technique, which is really troublesome. If you can get a sky-level cultivation technique or a holy-level cultivation technique, it will be enhanced 10,000 times. Chu Yuan said softly. Speaking of which, what's the secret behind this Baiduan Mountain restricted area? Why is it a restricted area? Could it be that there's a legacy of the powers here? Chu Yuan thought of some plots in the novel. This kind of restricted area is either the place where power is buried or where it is passed down. Use my current divine sense to see if you can see a little truth. Chu Yuan's divine sense spread out overwhelmingly. The next moment, he stares. Killing intent rises. At the peak of the Soul Palace Realm 3rd stage, Chu Yuan's divine sense can spread over 100,000 miles. And now, he has broken through to Immortal 1st stage. How far can his divine sense spread? If he doesn't try it, he won't know it himself. Just when Chu Yuan's divine sense swept out overwhelmingly, he found that he was still unable to enter the 3 major restricted areas, which shocked him a little. What are the 3 major restricted areas? Why are the formation restrictions so powerful? Although he was puzzled, he planned to explore later. His divine sense spreads to all but 3 restricted areas. 100,000 miles, 200,000 miles, 300,000 miles. However, before it spread to 400,000 miles, he stopped because he found two conspicuous figures. There were two monks, one thin and one fat, the old and the young. Wherever it passes, the Sanskrit sound is loud. Isn't this exactly the same as Tianlong Temple Tsikong's method? Moreover, the cultivation base of these two monks has reached the immortal state. What made Chu Yuan want to kill Hang Sung the most was that the two monks were discussing where he was, saying that they must find him quickly and kill him. I just killed a second-stage golden body, see I calm. Unexpectedly, Tianlong Temple came so quickly and so cautiously. There were two immortal realms. However, wanting to suppress and kill this seat is simply wishful thinking. Chu Yuan was extremely indifferent, with a cold light in his eyes. Since you are here to kill him, then let's die here. Desolate dragon, Chu Yuan called out. Master, what are your orders? The wild dragon immediately appeared in front of him. Chu Yuan nodded and said slowly, Do you want to break through to the half-saint realm now? Huanglong was stunned. Break through half-holy realm? It naturally wanted to, but it's not even seventh-order demonic beasts now. It's far away from the semi-holy realm, at least thousands of years before it's possible to break through to the semi-holy realm. But what the master asked it was, Do you want to break through now? The wild dragon widened his eyes, although he knew that his master's future would be terrifying, but his current strength is only at the immortal realm. Can a master help it break through to the half-holy realm now? If the master himself break through to the semi-holy, it must feel normal. After all, that's the master. Of course. However, what kind of dragon is it? It is too clear. Compared with its master, it is the waste of waste. And the master is saying this now. That's very possible. It can really help it break through directly to the half-holy realm. Master, the immortal realm, is it that scary? This is really, really shocking. Although it is shocking, but it feels almost inseparable. The owner will not tease it for no reason. Since the master asks this question, it is naturally possible to do it. Master, it's too scary, too powerful. Think. Huanglong kept pointing his big head, and his big heart was beating violently. Make a dull noise. Yeah. Chu Yuan nodded slightly and said, Okay, then get your monster core out. Without hesitation, Huanglong spit out the monster core, although it doesn't know what the master is going to do. A golden monster core the size of a fist flew in front of Chu Yuan. On the monster core, the rich monster qi permeates, and it also contains 2.5 layers of Gungjin artistic conception. Chu Yuan glanced at it, although it could be strengthened 10,000 times. Afterwards, he directly chose 10,000 times enhancement. Monster core has changed, from the size of a fist to the size of a watermelon. Not only that, the 7th gold artistic conception in monster core has directly changed from 2.5 layers to 1 layer of 7th gold rules. Go! Chu Yuan pushed monster core back. At this moment, the wild dragon looked extremely shocked. What did it see? The owner just glanced at its monster core, and the monster core directly became a semi-holy level. Moreover, the Gungjin artistic conception directly becomes the Gungjin rule. What kind of terrifying, heaven-defying means is this? The master is so scary. The master was able to help it break through to the semi-holy realm. Just in time, it opened its mouth wide open in shock, and after monster core returned, it swallowed it instinctively. The next moment, boom, its cultivation base skyrocketed. 7th step, 8th step, 9th order. A layer of Gungjin rules enter the semi-sage. Clatter. And at this moment, the semi-holy dragon's blood, which it had been difficult to refine before, actively merged into its body at this moment. In an instant, the fusion was completed. Its physical body, chi, and blood have all been transformed. Sing! The wild dragon let out a long roar, and the dragon's chant spread throughout 100,000 miles. The might of the dragon is mighty, and countless demonic beasts crawl on the ground in horror. At this moment, it has become a pure-blooded dragon. even if it is just an ordinary wild dragon. It's also a real dragon, too. It seems to have become the master of the demonic beasts here. But the next moment, Huanglong directly lowered his huge body and knelt down on Chu Yuan's face. Huanglong, thank you for the gift from the master. The increase in strength did not allow it to surpass by half a point. It is not an ungrateful dragon. Even without the restrictions of the master-servant contract, it doesn't work against the owner either. What's more, even if it has become a semi-holy, it still can't help but tremble with fear when facing its master. It knows that although its master is only immortal, it won't be too difficult to crush it to death. Good. Chu Yuan nodded in satisfaction. Although Huanglong is semi-holy, the master-servant contract is still valid, unless the wild dragon becomes a true saint. However, even if the master-servant contract is useless, Chu Yuan is not worried that Huanglong will turn against him. Although he is only in the immortal realm, the rules he has mastered also only have 1 level and 10 levels of spear intent. However, the increase in combat power brought to him by his eternal immortality body will not be too weak. At the very least, pinching Huanglong to death is like pinching an ant to death. Supreme Physique is no joke. Master's great kindness. The wild dragon will never forget it, and the wild dragon is willing to go through fire and water for the master and die. Huanglong expresses its loyalty to Chu Yuan, and it is out of its heart. Very good. Chu Yuan nodded in satisfaction, and then said indifferently, 2 ants entered the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, and they came to kill me. Do you know how to do it? Boom. A shocking murderous intent and anger erupted from Huanglong's body. I want to kill my master. I'm looking for death. Who is it? I'm going to kill them now. 2 monks go out from Huanglong Cave and walk straight for more than 300,000 miles. Master, I'll go back as soon as I go. Remember to bring back their interspatial ring. The wild dragon turned into a golden light and disappeared immediately. It's good to have a thug, so you don't have to do everything yourself. Chu Yuan nodded in satisfaction. But this system is really strange. Why can't the dragon be enhanced 10,000 times, but its blood essence, monster core cultivation base, and even its artistic conception can be enhanced? Could it be that it can't be integrated, it can only be separated, and it's out of the body? It seemed that we need to do more research. Chu Yuan murmured, go to the wild dragon and solve the 2 immortal realms. It shouldn't be a big deal. In the interspatial ring of the 2 immortal realms, there must be a heaven-level cultivation technique. If so, let's wait for it to come back first. As for finding treasures in this restricted area, it seems impossible to rely solely on divine sense. If there is a real treasure, it should be in the 3-day real forbidden zone. Insight first, destroy the artistic conception. Chu Yuan took out the 2 whole cards that could push the immortal realm horizontally. This whole card hasn't had time to use yet, and the strength of this seat is even stronger than the whole card. Chu Yuan shrugged helplessly. Although there is no need to take it out against the enemy, it is still possible to comprehend the artistic conception and rules of destruction. Finished. Chu Yuan began to gain insight. Damn it. In a restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, divine sense can only cover a radius of less than 10,000 miles. The fat monk was very dissatisfied. If this continues, when will we find that Chu Yuan? Don't worry, Chu Yuan is accompanied by rules, but his cultivation base is too weak. He is only at the supernatural power level. He should not enter the real 3 restricted areas. On the contrary, the skinny monk became calmer and said, besides, the reason why he came to the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain should be to find his missing little sister. So, he should still be wandering around here. Keep looking. The 2 monks did not split up. They are not far apart. It was also to guard against Chu Yuan. Although I don't really believe the rumors of the reincarnation of the ancient saint. But Chu Yuan finally mastered the rules. Even if they are from the immortal realm, they dare not be careless. 300,000 miles. For the wild dragon of the semi-holy realm, it doesn't take long. After a while, it flew over. Now, its divine sense spreads out. Now, I am a semi-holy cultivation base, and the divine sense can spread for 80 to 90,000 miles. When a master just broke through the soul palace, it was able to spread for more than 100,000 miles, which is stronger than me now. Now that the master has become an immortal realm, how strong is divine sense? Every time I think of the strength of the master, the wild dragon is full of awe. Huh, 2 immortal monks are they? Kill. Divine sense spread out, and soon he found target. It immediately turned into a golden light and killed it. Thousands of miles away, it's fleeting. And at this moment, 50 or 60,000 miles away, both the fat monk and the thin monk felt something and looked into the distance one after another. Umitba, what is that? Looks like a semi-holy wild dragon. Half-saint. Didn't enter the 3 real restricted areas. Why is there a half-saint? Moment. They were both stunned. Damn it, it seems to be coming for us. The fat monk's expression changed. Not necessarily, maybe it's just passing by. Keep a low profile, get down to the ground first, and don't block its way. The thin monk suggested. They fell to the ground one after another in a large virgin forest. The trees here are hundreds of meters high. Boom! The wild dragon spat out a mouthful of golden light, instantly destroying the primeval forest, leaving behind a bottomless pit with a diameter of thousands of miles. Whoosh! Whoosh! The 2 figures flew 30,000 to 40,000 miles away and glanced at the destroyed virgin forest with lingering fear. Umitba, the fat monk cursed. Is there something wrong with this wild dragon? We didn't mess with it. Is it so vicious when it comes up? Calm down, the skinny monk said solemnly. At this time, Huanglong was already approaching them. Your Excellency Huanglong, we were just passing by. I don't know where I offended you. The skinny monk asked solemnly. Passing by, Huanglong said indifferently. You guys want to kill the master of this seat. Die. The wild dragon will not be polite to them. It changes, the dragon body turns into thousands of miles, and the dragon wags its tail. Carrying a dragon tail with a layer of Gungjin rules, it will explode the air tens of thousands of miles around. Sweep towards the 2 monks at Tenryuji Temple. The 2 monks were shocked. Golden bowl. The thin monk raised a golden bowl. The next moment, the golden bowl turned into 1,000 li size, enveloping him and the fat monk in it. The immortal power of the fat monk also poured into the golden bowl. Jointly control the golden bowl to resist. Boom! After a loud noise, he was sent flying 7 to 80,000 miles. Puff! 2 monks in the golden bowl vomited blood. The golden bowl is a half-saint weapon, and it is precisely because of the half-saint weapon in hand that the 2 of them are sure to kill Chu Yuan, who has mastered the rules of guns. Half-holy soldiers have their own rules. They believe that even if Chu Yuan mastered the rules of the way of the gun, he would only be at the supernatural power level, and even if he broke through, he would still be at the soul palace level. They are 2 immortal boarders plus half-holy soldiers. Enough to kill Chu Yuan. Because of this, Tenryuji sent the 2 of them here. However, before they even saw Chu Yuan, they were intercepted by a terrifying wild dragon. Oh, half-holy soldier, is this the reason why you dare to kill the master? I don't know how to live or die. Who gave you courage? The wild dragon was extremely indifferent. Umitba, Your Excellency, Huanglong, are you mistaken? We are going to kill Chu Yuan, not your master. Is there a misunderstanding? The fat monk roared. He didn't believe that Chu Yuan, who was in the supernatural realm, could subdue the half-holy dragon. Are the gun rules amazing? The wild dragon has also mastered the rules. Cultivation base has such a huge gap. How can it be subdued? However, Huanglong's words made them despair. Dare to call the master's name directly. Even if the true saint comes, he will die here today. The killing intent of the wild dragon permeates, making people feel like falling into the underworld. What? Chu Yuan is really his master. At this moment, both the fat monk and the thin monk were stunned. Even though they broke their heads, they couldn't figure out how Chu Yuan subdued Huanglong. Even if Chu Yuan became a semi-holy, he might not be able to subdue the semi-holy wild dragon. Demonic beasts are very arrogant. It is difficult to surrender to the strong at the same level. What's more, how could Chu Yuan become a half-saint? Why is this? However, no one answered for them. Li Hao. Only Huanglong's killing intent is the best answer. Boom! The terrifying Long Wei erupted, sweeping a radius of 100,000 miles. Let's see how long this tortoise shell can protect you. The indifferent voice of Huanglong sounded, and then it turned into an afterimage. The dragon claw slapped the golden bowl fiercely. Sparks flew everywhere. What the golden bowl carries is also a layer of Gungjin artistic conception. But the two immortal realms cannot exert their full power. Puff puff. Every claw and every swing of Huanglong's tail can shake them in the golden bowl until they vomit blood. Thanks to their immortal status, they have tenacious vitality and can be reborn from a drop of blood. Otherwise, it is dead. However, even if you can resist, you can't bear a few times. Use half a dharma to drag him. Let's withdraw first, said the skinny monk. It would be a dead end to stay here, let alone kill Chu Yuan. The fat monk immediately threw out a decree, and the breath of half the area burst out in an instant. Standing in front of the wild dragon, they burned the blood essence and sent the golden bowl to escape quickly. The arrival of the real body can't stop me, let alone the decree. In just a few breaths, the so-called half-dharma purpose was directly torn to pieces by the wild dragon. Hunt out, Your Majesty, the half-holy wild dragon. A golden chariot drove out. Hengduan city lord Si Chiu Hung said tremblingly. Those two monks in Tianlong Temple are really unlucky. They didn't find Chu Yuan, but they provoked the half-sacred wild dragon. Si Danyang's laughing voice came from the golden car. Your Majesty, the latest news is that the person who killed Qiushui's little sister has been found, and the person is probably in an immortal cave. My people didn't approach, and I didn't startle the snake. Si Chiuheng glanced at the transmission. Xuanyu Brand, Daowang. How far is it from here? Si Danyang's dull voice sounded. It's less than 300,000 miles, and every 100,000 miles, my people will be in charge of summoning. Let's drive. I want to kill each other with my own hands. In the wild dragon cave, Chu Yuan sat cross-legged in the void, with a milky white jade talisman floating in front of his forehead. His eyes were tightly closed, his expression was peaceful, and his face was like white jade. Suddenly, he opened his eyes suddenly, and divine sense swept out overwhelmingly. A group of Soul Palace Realm and Divine Ability Realm. When divine sense detected them before, they seemed to be looking for something. They were too weak and didn't care. Unexpectedly, they came to the immortal cave of this seat. The golden chariot is rushing towards this side. Look at the menacing ones. They are rushing into the Huanglong cave. But is their target the Huanglong or this seat? Let me see. Wearing an imperial robe, the aura is somewhat similar to Si Qiushui. So, Chu Yuan did understand. It seemed that he was here to avenge Si Qiushui. Chu Yuan didn't care. Even, he didn't feel angry or angry at all, and his mentality began to change. He closed his eyes and continued to observe the destruction conception. But at this time, he was surrounded by destruction conception. It took him a long time to take the prototype of Insight Spear intent before, and it took about 2.5 months for the 2.5 layers of Insight Spear intent. But now, it is only about a stick of incense before Huanglong leaves, and the prototype of the destruction artistic conception has been revealed by his insight. Not only that, but also will soon reach speed. I have to say that his current aptitude is really heaven-defying. See, Your Majesty. Thousands of miles away from Huanglong Cave, the golden car stopped, and a Soul Palace Realm 7th stage, 2 Soul Palace Realm 5th stages, and more than a dozen supernatural power realms were all half kneeling on the ground. Get up. Si Danyang's voice came from the golden car. Tell me about the situation. Thank you, Your Majesty. The old man of the Soul Palace 7th stage stood up and continued. I used the royal secret method to track the aura all the way, and finally caught up with the huge immortal cave. The aura finally disappeared in the immortal cave. The person who killed the fourth princess should be the minister. It is good. Afterwards, the golden chariot headed towards the Huanglong cave. Except for Si Chiohung and his few people, there were hundreds of people behind the chariot, all of whom were in the Soul Palace. The black mask is so mysterious that even Si Chiohung doesn't know who these people are. Soon, the golden car stopped in front of the Huanglong cave, and Si Danyang got out of the car. He held the seals in both hands and activated the royal secret technique. And go. Whether you're human or demonic beasts, you're going to die today. Killing intent flashed in Si Danyang's eyes, and then he said, "Nephew, you are right here. Show me the car." "Yes, your majesty," Si Chiohung replied, followed by hundreds of Soul Palace realms. Not many if there are more. Not many if there are none. Since you let him watch the car, let's take a look. Follow me in. Si Danyang walked into the Huanglong cave, followed by hundreds of Soul Palace realms. The Huanglong cave is thousands of miles deep. Si Danyang did not release the divine sense in order not to startle the snake, so as not to be noticed by the other party and escape through other exits. After all, no one knows where this hole leads and whether there are other exits. Thousands of miles away, soon crossed within the immortal cave, there is a cave, very huge, crystal stones emitting a faint light. A handsome young man in white clothes sits cross-legged in the void. His eyes are closed. His divine light opens and closes, and the jade talisman is floating on Insight's forehead. At this moment, the young man's eyes open, and the sun and moon star emerges in his eyes, gentle and elegant. Immortal environment? Si Danyang narrowed his eyes slightly, and then he used the royal secret method, but he didn't find Si Chioshui's aura on the young man. Si Danyang frowned, followed by the secret method. The aura clearly came to this immortal cave, but the only person in the immortal cave was not contaminated with the aura. What's going on? Could it be this person who killed Chioshui? If not, where's the person who killed Chioshui? He looked around, but there was no one hiding, and there was no other exit, which was strange. What he didn't know was that at the beginning, Chu Yuan's body was indeed contaminated with Si Chioshui's aura. However, after Chu Yuan obtained the immortal body, Si Chioshui's aura had long been obliterated. "What are you looking for?" "Looking for the murderer of your daughter?" A faint voice sounded, and there was a playful smile on the corner of Chu Yuan's mouth. "You." Si Danyang's pupils shrank sharply, and a killing intent emerged. "It seems that Chioshui died at the hands of your excellency." "That's right. I was here to save her." She repaid her kindness and sent her on her way. Chu Yuan said calmly, as if talking about an unimportant matter. In fact, it was indeed unimportant. Si Danyang clenched his fist under the royal robe. "Who is your excellency?" "I will not kill the unknown." TSK, this seat, Chu Yuan." Chu Yuan glanced at Si Danyang slightly curiously. "This seat is very curious. Since you know that this seat is in the immortal stage, why do you dare to kill this seat when you're only in the 8th stage of the golden body stage? What card will you rely on?" "You are Chu Yuan? How is this possible?" Si Danyang narrowed his eyes slightly. He had heard a lot of the name Chu Yuan recently, and he was suspected of being the reincarnation of the ancient saint who mastered the rules of the gun. Si Chiohung also said before that it is not ruled out that it was Chu Yuan who killed Si Chioshui, but he did not expect it to be true. What shocked Si Danyang was that it wasn't that this young man was Chu Yuan, but that Chu Yuan's cultivation base was actually immortal. I heard that a few days ago. It was just a supernatural power. Originally, I only planned to avenge Chioshui. After all, I will not allow my own flesh and blood to die in vain. But I didn't expect that she died in your hands. In a short period of time, immortal has been achieved. It seems that you really have a great good fortune on your body. But even if you are the reincarnation of an ancient saint, I will kill you today and take your good fortune away. I have practiced for more than 3,000 years. I created the Tianfeng kingdom, and I have provoked many immortal realms, even half-sages. However, they all fell into my hands in the end. Today, you are no exception. Poor Tianlong Temple's 2 bald donkeys. They came to kill you, but ended up offending a wild dragon. It's okay, let you die in my hands. Si Danyang said coldly. It's hard to imagine that these words came from the mouth of a golden body. Oh, it seems that your reliance is really great. Chu Yuan suddenly became interested. A golden body realm actually killed a mortal realm and half-saints. How did he do it? My reliance, killing you, is enough. To avenge Xiu Shui this time, I thought I could rely on my own strength, but I didn't expect that it would be you. Although I can only use my whole card for the last time, if I use it to kill you, I will get your good card. The opportunity of fortune is worth it. My aptitude is not good enough. After 3,000 years of painstaking training, I'm still no more than a golden body. Getting your good fortune may allow me to go one step further. Do you want to know how the 2 immortal statues and 1 semi-holy statue fell into my hands in the past? Now, let you experience it. Go! Si Danyang yelled. The next moment, 10 formation flags flew out from behind him, landed in formation, expanded instantly, enveloping Chu Yuan, and caught people off guard so quickly. Immediately afterwards, every 10 people from hundreds of soul palaces appeared in front of formation flag, took out low-grade holy crystals, and blended them into the formation flag, and then cut their wrists one after another to let the blood essence flow into the formation flag. In an instant, the formation flag textures are more shiny. The formation was just right, trapping Chu Yuan in it. Incomplete, low-grade, saint-level formation, and it's crooked. It needs to be fed by blood essence. It could trap a semi-saint for a short time, but it's not enough to kill a semi-saint or even an immortal realm. Do you have other sources? Chu Yuan said lightly. That's right. Si Danyang sneered. Although this blood devil formation is an incomplete low-grade formation, it is fed by me with human blood every day, and I even enslave hundreds of soul palace realms, often watering it with their blood essence. Coupled with low-grade holy crystals, it can trap semi-saints, but is indeed not enough to kill semi-saints and immortal realms because the blood devil array is incomplete, and it no longer has the means to attack. Even if the immortal realm and the half-saints are prepared, they can distance themselves from me before I launch the formation. But the half-saint and the 2 immortal realm who died last time, they also underestimate the enemy like you. Know to put my golden body in one's eyes. So they died. It's this thing that can really kill a semi-sage. Si Danyang probably felt that Chu Yuan was settled, but took out a jade bottle without haste and explained. In this bottle, say, there's the blood of the meteor saint and the blood devil formation, which I obtained in a ruin thousands of years ago. Saint Meteor Demon Blood, which claims to be able to corrode holy bodies and make true saints fall, is the most precious treasure of Devil Dao. Although what I have obtained is diluted holy meteor demon blood, it is more than enough to kill half-saints. Saint Meteor Blood is different from the Blood Devil formation. The Blood Devil formation can be used all the time as long as it is fed with blood essence and low-grade saint crystals. But there are only 3 drops of Saint Meteor Demon Blood, and you can only use it 3 times. This is the last time. You are very honored. Even if you are really the reincarnation of the ancient saint, you are only in the immortal realm now. Let's see how you can resist the blood of the fallen saint. After finishing speaking, Si Danyang approached the formation, opened the jade bottle, and then fastened the jade bottle in the formation with lightning speed. The formation opened a small hole, and a bloody light rushed out from the jade bottle and sank into the formation. The hole healed instantly. At the next moment, the blood light in the formation turned into a foul-smelling blood mist and charged towards Chu Yuan. Once the holy meteor demon blood leaves the special jade bottle, it can no longer be subdued. It only picks the breath of the living to track and corrode all vitality and longevity. After being corroded, the holy meteor demon blood will take 3 days and 3 nights to completely dissipate. Give up resistance. It's useless. Your soul, body, and immortal power will all be corroded. Si Danyang was extremely indifferent. I'm afraid I'm going to let you down. The mere filth wants to corrode this seat. Chu Yuan's disdainful voice sounded. Let's see how long you can keep your mouth shut. Tong Danyang sneered. Chu Yuan disagrees. This falling saint demon blood sounds terrifying, but in fact, it is just a stream of energy, and it has been diluted so it cannot corrode the true saints, only the semi-holy ones. It's not very scary, and besides, who said it can't be subdued? If you can't subdue it, why don't you just imprison it? True saints cannot be corrupted. So can holy soldiers be corrupted? Apparently, also incorrodible. And there are not many holy soldiers, Chu Yuan. Furthermore, even if there is no holy weapon, he can refine it with bare hands. How powerful is his immortal body, let alone the diluted meteor saint demon blood? Even if it was the real saint meteor demon blood, it would be 100 times more terrifying. Can't corrupt his immortal body either. However, refining takes time. Chu Yuan, on the other hand, didn't want to waste time. Therefore, he directly took out a big cauldron, which is a middle-grade divine armament that has been strengthened 10,000 times, and it is made of holy soldiers. The big cauldron sucked. All the mist poured into the cauldron, unable to escape. The so-called meteor saint demon blood was directly suppressed in the cauldron. This scene made Si Danyang outside the formation froze in place, his body trembling slightly. Fall from the sky. Holy devil blood is not as powerful as you imagined. During the formation, Chu Yuan said calmly, "Why? The blood of the meteor saint will be suppressed. Besides, you're only in the immortal realm. Why do you have real holy soldiers? Even if you are the reincarnation of the ancient saint, it is impossible to reincarnate with a holy soldier. And you have only risen for a short time, and you don't have time to go to too many places. Why, you have holy soldiers." Si Danyang stared at Chu Yuan. He couldn't understand. The reason why he felt that even if Chu Yuan was the reincarnation of the ancient saint, he could still eat him. Even if he is sure, even if the other party is really an ancient saint, he is only just recovered, and without the holy weapon, many powerful means are definitely useless. Meteor saint demon blood is enough to corrode the opponent. However, he found that he was very wrong. An ancient saint? When did I say that I was reincarnated as an ancient saint? It's just someone else's wild guess. As for the holy soldiers, are they rare? With Chu Yuan's faint voice sounded. At the next moment, behind him, various weapons such as Zhongding Pagoda, swords, guns, and swords appeared, and they were all holy soldiers. Boom! Si Danyang knelt down on the ground limply. You are not the reincarnation of the ancient saint. So many holy soldiers. Where are you, sacred? Si Danyang knew that this time he was doomed. He had kicked a real big iron board, and those hundreds of Soul Palace realm didn't respond. They're nothing more than walking corpses enslaved by Si Danyang. Boom! However, at this time, a terrifying breath rushed in from outside the Huanglong cave. Isn't this exactly the half-holy wild dragon that hunted down and killed the 2 monks of Tianlong Temple? For a moment, Tong Danyang's head was a little unresponsive. Why did this semi-holy wild dragon appear here? However, at the next moment, he just stayed where he was. The wild dragon is useless. Killing 2 little thieves wasted time. Let these ants disturb the master's cleaning. Please punish the master. The huge dragon body of Huanglong knelt down on the ground and kowtowed desperately. Boom, boom, boom. There were loud noises and echoes in Huanglong Cave. With a sound, it hit Si Danyang's heart heavily. Huanglong really blamed himself. It felt that he was really useless. When chasing and killing those 2 monks just now, even if the other party had a golden bowl, it could kill them quickly. However, who would have thought that those 2 monks carried many half-dharma decrees, which were frequently used to stop him? Not only that, but also a flying boat treasure, which directly escaped from the Baiduan Mountain restricted area. It even chased out of the Hengduan Mountains, and, after a long distance, it caught up with the opponent and killed them, then returned quickly. Originally helping the owner to solve the trouble, it was in a very happy mood. However, as soon as it returned to the Huanglong Cave, it found 5 golden carts pulled by dragons. It felt bad, and listening to those people's conversations, it became even more angry. These ants don't know how to live or die and dare to come to their master. The wild dragon was furious and tore Si Chiohung and the others to pieces. The 5 dragons and the golden chariot were also torn to pieces by him. As soon as Huanglong entered the cave, he knelt on the ground and begged for Sin. He felt that he was too useless. The owner just promoted it to the semi-holy cultivation base, but he was so procrastinated for the first time, which must have disappointed the owner. He sincerely apologized. Instead of dreading the owner, it really feels guilty. The half-holy wild dragon who chased and killed Tianlong Temple called you master. Si Danyang exclaimed. At this moment, he really collapsed. What is missing is the incomplete, low-grade, saint-level formation and the blood of the fallen saint. However, the meteor saint demon blood has been suppressed by Chu Yuan. He was already quite desperate, but now he saw Huanglong running out to call his master again. He completely collapsed. It turned out that the 2 monks in Tianlong Temple were not unlucky enough to offend the semi-holy Huanglong, but Huanglong took the initiative to kill them. There is no doubt that this was Chu Yuan's order. Moreover, it seems that the 2 monks of Tianlong Temple should be dead. Boom! On Chu Yuan's body, the terrifying immortal power erupted. Under the boost of the immortal body, it was even more terrifying than the half-holy power. Immediately, the incomplete, low-grade, saint-level formation exploded directly. Can't stand him. Puff! Hundreds of enslaved soul palaces also instantly turned into blood mist. Kill it. Chu Yuan's faint voice sounded. Yes, master. Huanglong naturally understood what Chu Yuan meant, stretched out his dragon claws, and smashed the collapsed Si Danyang in a blood mist with one claw. Tell me what happened. Chu Yuan said calmly. Yes, master. Next, Huanglong recounted the whole process of hunting and killing the 2 monks of Tianlong Temple, and finally said, Please punish the master. There's no need to punish. This matter is not your fault. Give me their interspatial ring, and I will take a look at the flying boat. Chu Yuan chuckled. Huanglong quickly gave the interspatial ring to Chu Yuan, including the 2 monks, the lord of Hengguan City, Si Chiohung and his subordinates, and, of course, Si Danyang. Take this and go to practice. Only when your strength becomes stronger can you serve me better. Chu Yuan threw out a semi-holy monster core. Thank you, master. Huanglong was very grateful. Not only did the master not punish it, but he also gave it benefits. It was really kind to it. It should quickly refine this monster core to improve its strength. The next time it helps the master solve the problem, can't do this again. The heavenly best cultivation technique Glass Golden Body and Shunwei Tianlong, the heavenly top-grade cultivation technique Happy Zen Method, the 2 immortal monks of Tianlong Temple did not disappoint me. 11. Chu Yuan watched cultivation technique first and was very satisfied. The 2 immortal realm monks of Tianlong Temple cultivation base have reached the peak of immortal realm death realm, and they're only 1 step away from the semi-sage. Of course, this step is a natural barrier. Without comprehending the rules, they cannot take this step. Glass Golden Body and Shunwei Tianlong are all serious cultivation techniques, but they can be strengthened 10,000 times and then cultivated. As for Huanqi Zen Method, forget it. After all, harvesting yin to nourish yang can dry women. It hurts Tianhe. Other things, martial skill, medicine pill of the 8th and 9th grades, divine armament Daobing, and the holy crystal of the lower grade, are quite a lot. It's a small fortune. Chu Yuan watched Si Danyang's interspatial ring again. A low-level cultivation technique. I don't like it, but this martial skill, Swanee Divine Fist, is actually the best. Good guy. The 2 monks in Tianlong Temple don't have the best martial skill. I didn't expect that there was a small golden body realm 2nd stage. Moreover, his low-grade Saint Crystal was worth thousands of yuan, which was more than the 2 monks in Tianlong Temple. The other medicine pills, although only 6 rank 7, but there are also many of them, as expected of the emperor of a country, although it is only a small Tianfeng country. But there are indeed many treasures. Of course, he should have obtained the low-grade Holy Crystal and Swanee Divine Fist in the so-called ruins. He was very lucky in the past. Next, Si Chiohung and their interspatial ring also gained a small amount. Next, it's time for him to strengthen 10,000 times. Soon, under his operation, it was successfully enhanced 10,000 times. Glass golden body, 10,000 times enhanced success. Great Saint level top quality. Can be renamed, yes/no name. Shunwei Tianlong, 10,000 times enhanced success. Great Saint level top product. Can be renamed, yes/no name. Swanee Divine Fist, 10,000 times enhanced success. Great Saint level top quality. Can be renamed. Do you want to name it? After the Holy level, there's the Great Saint level. After the Heaven level, Cultivation technique and martial skill are strengthened 10,000 times. They directly surpass the Saint level and get the Great Saint level. This is normal. After all, the base of the Heaven level Cultivation technique itself is quite large. After 10,000 times the enhancement, it will naturally not be too weak. Chu Yuan didn't bother to rename it, so he just left it at that. After that, the precious medicine pill, he also strengthened 10,000 times. After the 6th rank is strengthened 10,000 times, it is a semi-holy rank, and after the 7th rank is enhanced 10,000 times, it is a low-rank holy rank. Of course, it can also be called holy grade. Holy grade, holy grade, they are all the same. After the low-grade Saint Crystal was strengthened 10,000 times by him, he obtained the top-grade Saint Crystal. There is nothing to say about the many divine armaments. After being strengthened 10,000 times, all of them will become holy weapons. And the Tao soldiers are transformed into great saint soldiers after being strengthened 10,000 times by him. They don't have Taoist level guns. They only have top-grade divine armament level guns. After being strengthened 10,000 times, they will become top-grade holy soldiers. Although the current cultivation base of this seed is only immortal realm, with the help of the immortal body, it can control there are more than enough top-grade holy soldiers. It's a pity that there is no powerful marksmanship. They don't use guns. It's a blessing to have a top-quality divine armament gun. Forget it. After leaving the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, go find a powerful marksmanship. It's not that Chu Yuan is obsessed with guns and doesn't use other great saint soldiers. The main reason is that what he has comprehended so far is only the rules of guns, and it's easy to use. And other holy soldiers, great saint soldiers, he is not useless. After all, who stipulated that only one treasure can be used during a battle? As the case may be, he is not rigid. And not just great saint soldiers. The golden bowl of the half-saint level, after being strengthened 10,000 times, directly becomes a half-step Saint King soldier. Moreover, the one-layer Gingjin rule contained in it has also been strengthened 10,000 times to become a perfect Gungjin rule. It is beneficial to my insight. Chu Yuan thought for a while. The current strength of this seat is already very strong. You can also take a look at the 3 major restricted areas, Gu, Qingshu. It's time to find a cheap little sister, too. As for training, it doesn't have to be closed-door training blindly. You can also practice while walking. What's more, this seat is talented. Think here. Chu Yuan called out, Huanglong, Master. The next moment, the wild dragon appeared directly in front of him. Do you know anything about the ice-restricted area? Chu Yuan asked. Huanglong shook his head and said, Master, although the Huanglong cave is very close to the 3 restricted areas, I have never been to the real 3 restricted areas. My brother, the 7th level Huanglong, once stepped into the earth fire restricted area. But after a while, it came out half dead, and it said that there was a great terror in the restricted area. It didn't elaborate on the specifics. As for the ice forbidden zone, I don't know much about it. Anyway, the demonic beasts in the restricted area rarely come out, and it's normal if they don't come out for hundreds of years. Master, are you going to the ice-restricted area? Yeah. Chu Yuan nodded. Go, let's go now. After speaking, Chu Yuan flew to Huanglong's head, and the next moment, Huanglong turned into golden light and disappeared. In the blink of an eye, they came to the entrance of the 3 restricted areas. This is the deepest part of the forbidden area of Baiduan Mountain. There is no way ahead. There are only 3 light gates, turquoise, golden yellow, and crystal. The turquoise one has the words poisonous mist written on it, flying like dragons and phoenixes. The golden one has the word earth fire written on it, and the crystal-colored one has the word ice written on it. This handwriting gun rules. Chu Yuan's eyes were fixed, and he felt the faint gun rules in it, but the level was very high, at least 4 or 5 levels. The stone tablet outside the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain has a spear intent, and there are rules of gun practice here. Could it be related to a strong gunman? Besides, this strong man was from thousands of years ago. 10,000 years ago, it was far away, and it was not far away. After all, Immortal Realm had 10,000 years of longevity. Go in, Chu Yuan ordered. Go to see the so-called restricted area first. As for the gun lane rules, it is not too late to come back to insight later. Huang Long carried Chu Yuan on his back and disappeared into the light gate of the ice forbidden zone. In Tianfeng abroad, hundreds of millions of miles away, in the sky, there are sacred mountains floating in the sky, connected together by thick chains, forming the appearance of a pair of winged dragons. On every sacred mountain, there are temples and temples enshrining golden Buddhas. At this moment, a large group of monks gathered in the largest temple. Amitabha, what happened? Why are all the golden elders and immortal venerables suddenly called? I don't know. This is the will of the second half Buddha. I heard that the fat and thin venerables have fallen. What? Fat and thin venerables have fallen? Aren't they the peak of the immortal realm? Who can kill them? Half-holy, is there a half-sage who opposes me at Tianlong Temple? Where's the half-sage? From a Yuhua dynasty? Or something else? Many golden elders and immortal venerables began to discuss. Amitabha, why Jing? The second half of the Buddha has come. Suddenly, the scene fell silent. The fat second half Buddha sat on the highest lotus flower throne, he said. Ask for flowers. Amitabha, don't gossip too much. A few days ago, Sikong fell, and I sent 2 fat and thin venerables to go there to avenge Sikong. However, the fat and thin soul lamps are gone out, and they are dead. The purpose of summoning all of you today is to get rid of the root of the disaster. Amitabha, may I ask the half-Buddha, where is the root of the disaster? Ascension Dynasty, or something else? Asked Immortal Realm. It's not the Yuhua Dynasty, nor other forces, but a proud son of heaven who is suspected to be the reincarnation of an ancient saint, named Chu Yuan. Of course, it may just be a strong one who seized his home. The second half paused and continued. No matter what, C.I. Kong died in the opponent's hands, and the fat and thin venerables also died. Although the fat and thin venerable's soul lamp just went out, I don't know why they died, but most of them are related to the opponent. My Tianlong Temple. The reason why I have survived in the world forever is to do things cleanly, cut grass and roots. The death of C.I. Kong and Fat Show has already pulled each other to the opposite side of Tianlong Temple. The root of the evil must be eradicated. Keep Tianlong Temple peaceful. Half Buddha, since the opponent can kill 2 venerables, fat and thin, I'm afraid they're not weak. Someone said. The second half of the Buddha nodded and said, it's really not weak. The 2 venerables, fat and thin, came to ask me for instructions before setting off. I gave them the most precious golden bowl. However, they still fell. As soon as these words came out, the faces of all the immortal venerables and golden elders changed drastically. What? The venerable, fat and thin, fell with the golden bowl of the most precious treasure? That is a half-holy soldier. Then Chu Yuan, is it really that scary? The other party is. Half-holy. They're all extremely dignified. Then what cultivation-based Chu Yuan is now? No one knows. So everyone was called together to set out to suppress and kill each other. Otherwise, Tianlong Temple will have endless troubles. First, get rid of the root of the disaster, and second, come, take back the golden bowl. 3 times, take the other party's good fortune. The second half Buddha said in a deep voice. Are you sure you can kill him? An immortal venerable asked. The second half of the Buddha nodded and said, of course there are. This time, I came out of Tianlong Temple in full force, and the third half of the Buddha also invited the true biography of a great Buddha from Lane's sacred land. Buddha's son, Big Buddha. That is the existence beyond the true Buddha, the true disciple of the great Buddha. Amitabha, that's great. In this way, you will be able to suppress and kill each other. God bless Tenryuji Temple. Great goodness. It's snowing heavily, and it's extremely cold. Demonic beasts of the 6th and 7th ranks are as numerous as dogs, and demonic beasts of the 8th and 9th ranks are also common. Is this the ice forbidden zone? On the head of Huanglong, Chu Yuan muttered to himself. This ice-restricted area is really terrifying. If I hadn't become a semi-sage, I wouldn't have the confidence to come in. Huanglong thought. It has been half an hour since they came in, and they encountered many demonic beasts along the way. But they were all too scared by the dragon's might to make a move. The dragon's body couldn't help trembling, and he was secretly surprised. Master just came in for a while, and he has realized the embryonic form of the ice mood. Master, this is too scary. It really is a waste, and it took hundreds of years to comprehend the prototype of Gongjin artistic conception. Actually, Huanglong underestimated Chu Yuan. Chu Yuan is not just as simple as Chu Yuan, who has comprehended the artistic conception of ice. He also cultivated the two best great saint-level cultivation technique and martial skill to the entry level. With a thought, Chu Yuan began to look at the properties panel. Host, Chu Yuan. Physique, eternal immortality physique. Qualification, cultivation base, immortal realm first stage. Cultivation technique, glass golden body, great saint grade beginner, Shunwei Tianlong, great saint grade beginner. Martial skill, divine fist, extreme great saint level entry. Avenue, 1 layer of gun rules, half layer of destruction mood, prototype of ice mood. The artistic conception that is comprehended now, wait for the insight to reach the rule level, and then enhance it 10,000 times. Chu Yuan thought. Subsequently, she closes the properties panel. Looking at the vast white world, he said softly, Will Gu Qingxue be here? She was only in the divine alchemy realm at that time, and in less than a year, no matter how heaven-defying, she would not be able to defeat her. Past the demonic beasts of the 8th and 9th ranks. She's not dead, and she's not on the periphery, so she can only be in these 3 restricted areas. The sacred snow lotus that Zhao mentioned last time can only be found in the Hanshui restricted area. Forget it, go a little further, find the stronger demonic beasts, and ask. Chu Yuan decided. Stop. Outsiders are not welcome in the icy restricted area. Get back quickly. A group of 8th and 9th ranked demonic beasts stood in front of Chu Yuan and the others. They were a group of giant ice and snow dragons. They warned Chu Yuan and the others with their words. I've forgotten which batch this is. Why are there so many high-ranked demonic beasts? Desolate Dragon is numb. The question is, don't these high-ranked demonic beasts have brains? Can't you feel its power? Get out of the way or die. The indifferent voice of Desolate Dragon sounded, and at the next moment, those high-ranked demonic beasts all dispersed. Dare to come out when admonishing and really cowardly when counseling. After taking these ice and snow giant dragons, can't they be as strong as the Baron Dragon? They're the ones who warn you when you are strong. If you are weak, you will be directly targeted by them. Chu Yuan's calm voice sounded. Huanglong nodded. The master made sense. Half a year ago, have you ever seen a human woman set foot here? Chu Yuan asked. Those scattered ice and snow dragons said coldly. No. Human beings, I advise you to leave early. Terran woman? Huanglong was taken aback for a moment. This was the first time the master asked a question. It turned out that the master came to the ice-restricted area, and it belonged to the Xia people. It's just, is the human woman the master's companion? Or the mother? Or, forget it, it's my little sister. Chu Yuan's faint voice sounded. Huanglong's thoughts were seen through, and he was quite embarrassed. By the way, about half a year ago, have you ever seen a human woman enter the 3 restricted areas? Chu Yuan asked Huanglong. He was negligent before, and the Huanglong Cave is so close to the 3 restricted areas. Maybe he has seen it before. I haven't seen it. The wild dragon shook its big head. Huanglong has never seen it before, which is also normal. Moreover, is Gu Qingxue really in the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain? At the beginning, I just said 767. It is not ruled out that she came to the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain and then disappeared. In fact, she did not come to the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, or after coming to the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, she left and went to other places, and for some reason, there is no audio at all. It is possible. That's all. Let's look for this icy forbidden area first. Anyway, it's the same as finding someone for cultivation. Chu Yuan began to invade the divine sense into the interspatial ring, the semi-Saint King's soldier golden bowl, and the perfect Gungjin rule, which is the goal of his affection. Standing at the height of the first-level gun rules, it is easier to comprehend the artistic conception of other rules. After a while, the prototype of the Gungjin artistic conception emerged. This, the rudimentary form of Gungjin artistic conception, Huanglong was dumbfounded again. If he remembered correctly, the master just realized the rudimentary form of frost artistic conception, and it was only a while ago. The master is too terrifying. Huanglong's attitude towards Chu Yuan is becoming more and more awe-inspiring. Sure enough, the master is destined to suppress an era. Who can compare to this talent? At the same time, the final runner-up of the Yellow Ice Battalion deep in the ice-restricted zone, the huge semi-holy ice and snow dragon said, "There's a report from the tribe that some tribes have come to the restricted area, and they cannot be expelled, and they are rushing to the depths of the restricted area." The half-holy ice bear's rough voice sounded, "Isn't it enough to just kill it? How can it be so easy to destroy?" The half-holy snow fox raised its 9 tails and spit out a pleasant voice with its cherry-red lips. "Just now, my clansman also sent a message. Is an immortal realm human race riding a half-holy wild dragon? Humans in the immortal realm riding a half-holy wild dragon." The half-holy snow scorpion said disdainfully, "The wild dragon is also a branch of the dragon family. Although it is a mixed-blood dragon family, it should be a little arrogant anyway. Unexpectedly, it is willing to condescend to a rival. It seems that the arrogance of the weak human race has been wiped out." A glint flashed in the eyes of the semi-holy snow wolf. "Don't say these are useless, since we can't expel them. We can only do it. Now that the human pill has reached a critical moment, we can't make mistakes, otherwise the Lord will blame you. No one can afford it." After a pause, he continued, "The other party is riding a semi-holy wild dragon. I'm afraid the strength is not very weak. No matter how bad it is, there should be a lot of life-saving things. So, at least 3 go together. Who wants to go?" After hearing the words of the semi-holy snow wolf, they all became serious, especially when they heard the master. "I'm one of them. I haven't seen the human race for a long time, and the people who summoned him said that he is a handsome man." The semi-holy snow fox said with a charming smile, "I really want to play him to death. The other half-holy demonic beasts ignored her. "This seat is also one of them, just to teach that half-holy wild dragon a lesson, and tell him that even a half-blooded dragon clan shouldn't lose the arrogance of the dragon clan," said the half-holy Binkswetchenlong coldly. "I'm going too. This seat counts as one." 2 voices sounded. It was the half-holy ice bear and the half-holy snow scorpion. "Huh." The 2 of them looked at each other, as if they were about to fight. "Go to this seat." "No, I will go." The 2 fought. "Wait." The voice of the ice dragon sounded. Just now, the tribe sent a report that the human tribe riding the wild dragon was inquiring about the information of the human tribewoman, and also said that the time was half a year ago. As soon as the words came out, the other 4 demonic beasts, half-saints, were all taken aback. They all looked into the ice pill furnace and said in unison, "Human pill? I didn't expect that he came to find the main medicine of this person." The semi-holy snow wolf said in a deep voice, "Then he deserves to die even more. That's all. All 4 of you go. Here, I just need to stay here. Must kill each other." Boom! However, at this time, a sudden change occurred. In the ice palace, on the 100-foot ice throne, among the ice sculptures that look like humans but not humans, Yolan's divine light flickers. Seeing this, the 5 semi-saint demonic beasts all knelt down on the ground, extremely pious. Meet the master. Well, get up. I know what you're talking about. Go Snow Wolf, and you too. A vicissitudes of life sounded from the ice sculpture that seemed human but not human. Even this voice is not human. Master, don't you need to guard the human pill? After going out for a while, the human pill will probably break out to resist vigorously again. At that time, it will take another month or 2 to refine it. The face of the semi-holy Snow Wolf couldn't help but change. Asked tremblingly, "Don't worry about human pills. The reason why you all go is because I have sensed that the physique of that human race is also very strong. Although I am restricted, I can't perceive how strong it is, but that physique will not be stronger than human pills. The physique of the human pill is the most useful to me, but if I add a physique that is not weaker than the human pill, the grade of the human pill will be higher. At that time, I will give you a big reward." An inhuman voice sounded. "Thank you, Master." Hearing the grand prize, the 5 half-saint demonic beasts were very excited. "Yeah, let's go. Remember, that human race has to live." Afterwards, the divine light of Yulon disappeared, and the human-like but not human statue returned to its normal appearance. Walk. The next moment, the 5.5 holy demonic beasts left straight away. After a while, a muffled murmur resounded in the frozen human cauldron. "No, you can't just die like this. Hold on. Gu Qing Shue. If you die, what will Yuan Big Brother do?" Incomparably weak, the voice as thin as a mosquito came out. "Master, it seems that there are only snow wolves, snow foxes, ice scorpions, bears, and snow dragons in this ice forbidden zone, and nothing else." Huanglong said, "That's true, and this place shouldn't be too big." Chu Yuan replied, "It's a pity that the divine sense can't be released in this ice forbidden area. Otherwise, with my divine sense, I can touch this place very quickly." Clear. Yes, divine sense cannot be released in the ice forbidden zone. 1 dragon and 1 person shuttling through the ice and snow. Occasionally meet demonic beasts and ask, as long as it is not demonic beasts who take the initiative. Chu Yuan didn't try to kill them all. After all, he wasn't here to kill demonic beasts. Chu Yuan multitasking, insight multiple artistic conceptions, and insight cultivation technique, martial skill at the same time. You can also separate your mind and pay attention to the outside world. An hour later, the destruction conception, Gangjin conception, and ice conception all broke through to the first floor one after another. As for the rules of the gun path, it was a little slower. Before his insight gun road rules, it took a month of days and nights for the first floor. Now he is multitasking, and it only takes an hour for a layer of artistic conception. The cultivation base is too low now. When the cultivation base is strong in the future, you can create your own cultivation method and refine your natal weapon. Chu Yuan murmured. He just had this plan. If he really wanted to proceed, he would at least have to break through to the Holy Realm. However, the Holy Land is not very far away. Master, there are several powerful auras coming from distance. Huanglong became dignified, and every aura was no weaker than him. Yeah. Chu Yuan's eyes narrowed slightly. Huanglong could find it. Why didn't he discover it? He discovered it much earlier than Huanglong, but he didn't say anything. What a handsome young man of the human race. Let's play with my sister. Suddenly, a soft laugh came. At the next moment, a huge, half-human, half-demon nine-tailed snow fox appeared not far from them, looking aggressively at Chu Yuan. Immediately afterwards, there were snow wolves, snow scorpions, ice bears, and ice dragons. All in one, half-holy cultivation base. Presumptuous. The wild dragon roared and sent it off. It turned out to be a pure-blooded dragon. How could the barren dragon be a pure-blooded one? Snow Wolf asked in surprise. He is also worthy of being a pure-blooded dragon. The ice and snow dragon said disdainfully. Using a mount for a human is simply a losing face for a dragon. Wait for him to be handed over to me, and I will personally kill him. Stop talking nonsense. Let go directly. Ice Bear roared. It's not a monkey. Why are monkeys in a hurry? Snow Scorpion said coldly. Can they still run away? Play slowly. Play slowly? Don't forget the master's explanation. Ice Bear snorted, and Chu Yuan sighed. After seeing the 5.5 holy demonic beasts, he chuckled. It's really not easy to find little sister. Oh hee, looking for little sister? Human youth, are you looking for a human woman with a 9 heavens cold body? Snow Fox covered her mouth and smiled. Chu Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly. Finally, there is news. It seems Gu Qingxue is really in the ice forbidden area. It looks like that's it. So she is your little sister, Snow Fox said charmingly. Do you want to know where she is? Come, follow my sister, and my sister will take you to find little sister. This seat is not interested in Soft Fox. Tell me where she is, otherwise she will die. Chu Yuan said indifferently. The other party was not kind, and he was not blind. That being the case, there is no need to be polite. Yo, it's so fierce. I'm so scared. Snow Fox looked terrified. Huanglong was about to be furious, but was interrupted by Chu Yuan's pat. Soft Fox talks a lot of nonsense. This seat is the first to go. The wild dragon belongs to this seat. No one should compete with this seat. The ice and snow dragon rushed up directly. Go. He's looking for you to be his opponent. Chu Yuan said to Huanglong, and then flew into the air. Master, be careful, Huanglong said, and then rushed to the ice and snow dragon. Serve as a mount for the people. Said he gave Dragon Clan losing face. What do short-sighted things know? How can you know the majesty of the master? Desolate Dragon wants to let the ice and snow dragon know that you ice and snow dragon are the scum. In the distance, 2 giant dragons fought together. Hey, little brother, a handsome young man of the human race, without a semi-holy mount, you are an immortal first stage. Don't you panic. Don't be afraid. Sister will be gentle and won't hurt you. Snow Fox teased, suddenly disappeared in place, claws towards Chu Yuan. As for the other 3 semi-holy demonic beasts, they have no intention of doing anything for the time being. The ice and snow dragon said that it would be singled out, and the Snow Fox deals with a mortal first stage. It seems that they are not needed. Whoosh! Chu Yuan disappeared in place, leaving the Snow Fox in vain. It's pretty fast, Snow Fox said, and charged towards Chu Yuan again. Wanlong 2.1 kill. Chu Yuan pointed to a blow, but what Wanlong passed was directly piercing the Snow Fox. Chu Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly and disappeared from the spot. The next moment, where he was just now, a pair of fox paws appeared. Is it the rule of illusion? Besides, there are 2 floors. Chu Yuan understood instantly. It turned out to be a layer of gun rules, and with such a keen perception, the immortal realm is so good. Snow Fox was quite surprised. However, next, let's see if you can see through it. The Snow Fox transforms into hundreds of them. Each one is lifelike, but this is not a clone art, but an illusion art. Hundreds of snow foxes. Meow Chu Yuan came to kill them. Chu Yuan didn't panic at all. Under the powerful divine sense, the Real Snow Fox couldn't hide. Although the divine sense couldn't be released, the instinctive perception of the divine soul still existed. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Chu Yuan dodges many times, and every time he catches the Snow Fox's attack. Soft Fox, you are too useless. You can't handle an immortal realm for a long time. Snow Scorpion's mocking voice came. Shut up, old lady. Snow Fox turned around and scolded, then smiled at Chu Yuan. Little brother, it's no fun just hiding, the master said. Don't you have a strong physique? Come, let my sister see it. Owner? Chu Yuan noticed the word. It seems that there are other existences behind the Snow Fox, or these semi-holy demonic beasts. Could it be that he is a true saint who can control the 5 semi-sages demonic beasts? That is, the often said saint. Moreover, he actually knew that he had a strong physique. It seems that the other party is really not simple. However, he has no fear. Want to see my physique? As you wish. Chu Yuan's indifferent voice sounded, and the next moment his figure disappeared directly. Huh? Where did it go? Snow Fox didn't expect the other party to agree so quickly, and disappeared immediately. Even she couldn't detect it. At this moment, she felt an unprecedented danger. The instinctive prediction of the body, even the trembling premonition of the death crisis. She wanted to escape, but she could only stare wide-eyed, unable to move. Boom! A terrifying momentum acted on her body, and in an instant, the Snow Fox's body fell directly from the sky, hitting the ground, and the ground was covered with ice and snow. A huge foot stepped on her huge body. Naturally, this couldn't be Chu Yuan's foot, but the foot of Chu Yuan Benwo Dharma. The Dharma of the original self is not something that does not exist beyond the golden body state. It has always existed. At this moment, Chu Yuan is standing in the sky, with the slightly illusory self behind him, standing upright. The Snow Fox was trampled under his feet, like an ant, unable to move. How can it be so scary? Snow Fox's eyes were full of horror. The huge foot stepped on her body, as if all the heavens were suppressing her through the ages. She couldn't figure it out. The other party was only a mortal realm, first stage. Why was it so terrifying? Is this the increase in strength brought by the opponent's physique? How? Are you satisfied? Chu Yuan's indifferent voice sounded very flat, but high above, overlooking all living beings. Snow Fox wanted to speak, but couldn't. Sexy Fox. This human race is so terrifying. Everything happened so fast, almost instantly, that the other half-saint demonic beast didn't even react. By the time they reacted, Snow Fox had already been trampled underfoot. Let's go together, Ice Scorpion said solemnly. The strength of the few of them is almost the same, and the Snow Fox can't get any benefits, so they have to go together. Wow! Kill! Snow Wolf yelled, and rushed toward Chu Yuan. Although the master wanted to live, they could beat the human youth 12 to death before taking him back. Roar! The ice bear also roared angrily. Humph! A soft sounded. Chu Yuan's original Dharma image stepped on it lightly, and at the next moment, Snow Fox felt that the heavens of all ages had collapsed. In an instant, her monster core was shattered, her flesh and bones were shattered, and her soul was shattered, and she was wiped out directly. Until the moment of death, Shuehu, who regretted it extremely. He was really cheap. Why did he want to see other people's physique? I didn't see the physique, and I don't know what kind of physique, but I have seen some of the power brought by the physique. Although it is only the power of the tip of the iceberg, she is so desperate. Pay the price with your life for this. At this time, the Ice Scorpion's crystal poisonous hook had already attacked Chu Yuan from behind. The Snow Wolf's sharp claws had attacked Chu Yuan from the side, and the two pairs of ice bears' paws joined together, pressing heavily on the ground. Kakaka! The ground of ice and snow cracked, and huge ice thorns shot straight into the sky. The target was Chu Yuan, and even blocked all of Chu Yuan's escape routes. The ants shake the sky. Chu Yuan stood with his hands behind his back, extremely indifferent, aloof, overlooking all living beings like the ruler of all things. With one hand, I grabbed the crystal poisonous hook of the ice scorpion, and with the other hand, I grabbed the snow wolf's neck, stomped slightly, and all the ice thorns burst. Boom, boom, boom. My true form picked up the ice scorpion and smashed it fiercely on the ground. Even if the ice scorpion is a semi-sage, under the power of the true self, it is still smashed and confused, and there are bottomless ravines in the ice and snow land. Snow Wolf couldn't use any strength, couldn't move, except that his eyes were going to pop out. The most frightening thing is that all his strength seems to have disappeared. He is like an ordinary snow wolf. When his neck is pinched, he will feel suffocated and his head will be short of oxygen. Thump, thump, thump. This scene made the ice bear go backwards continuously, his face full of shock and disbelief. Even the giant ice dragon and wild dragon that were fighting fiercely in the distance stopped. The immortal first stage human race. How is that possible? Snow Fox is dead? Ice Scorpion and Snow Wolf have also been captured. The giant ice and snow dragon trembled. While he was in a daze, the wild dragon directly hit the dragon with its tail, and slapped it on the head of the ice and snow dragon. Unsuspecting, the head of the ice and snow dragon was cut in half, and a large amount of dragon blood was spilled like a kite with a broken string. Usually, it smashed hard on the ice and snow ground. The wild dragon looked down at him from above. You say I'm not worthy of being a dragon? You say I don't have arrogance? Hee, a frog in a well, an ant who sees nothing, is short-sighted. Did you see it? What a majestic existence the Master is. Immortal Realm, first stage. Killing you is like crushing ants. Master, he is destined to suppress an era, an existence that is invincible in the world. Following such a master is at very losing face. Stupid ice and snow dragon. Huanglong was full of pride. The ice and snow dragon's head healed slowly. He didn't refute Huanglong. He couldn't recover for a long time. Withdraw. Asterisk. Ice Bear's voice rang in his ears. The Ice Bear, who has always loved the brainless one the most, chose to flee without fighting. The ice and snow dragon also reacted and ran away. There's no way to fight, so it could only run away. Want to escape? Huanglong grabbed the tail of the giant ice and snow dragon and threw him to the ground. Originally, their strengths were almost evenly matched, but the giant ice and snow dragon wanted to escape, but Huanglong once again caught the opportunity. On the other side, Chu Yuan's self-image stepped out across a long distance to the top of Hanbing's head. Human race, don't kill me. Frost Bear was terrified. Boom! The Frost Bear was trampled on the soles of its feet, just like the Snow Fox just now. Look at you. Chu Yuan sneered, stamped his feet. The Ice Bear was wiped out, and with his hands, the Ice Scorpion and Snow Wolf were also wiped out. They were nothing more than minions. What Chu Yuan is interested in is how Gu Qingxue is doing now, and their so-called master. With a big wave of my own Dharma Xiang, I grabbed the ice giant dragon in my hand. Say, where's my little sister? Chu Yuan stared at the ice and snow dragon. In the ice palace, I will be refined into a human pill. The ice and snow dragon knew that he would not survive, so he sneered, she is dying. Boom! The ice and snow dragon was crushed and exploded directly. Huanglong, Chu Yuan said calmly. Master! The wild dragon flew over, and sure enough, the master killed the half-sage, just like killing ants. Go directly to the depths of the restricted area. Chu Yuan said. Although Chu Yuan is a traverser, he has transmigrated to the original body and lived as the original body, which can be regarded as full of the original body's love. Although he avenged the original body's obsession with this little sister is still the same. Very deep, and judging from a memory of the original body, this little sister is indeed very good. She has never left her. As the proud daughter of heaven, she always puts the trash big brother first. If possible, Chu Yuan doesn't mind saving her. Of course, he will do what he can. If the so-called masters of these semi-holy beings are so powerful that he is invincible, then he will run away without hesitation, instead of being stupid and really desperate. My current strength doesn't rely much on cultivation technique, nor does it rely on cultivation base, and the rules are just so. The main reason is the power of the immortal body. Although physique is strong, but after all, physique is only one aspect, and other aspects must be replenished as soon as possible. Only by developing in an all-round way can we be able to overwhelm all enemies. Chu Yuan summed it up. The increase in strength brought by his physique is really powerful. His immortal realm strength, under the increase, at least not weaker than the true saint. One must know that the gap between the immortal realm and the true saint is not as simple as 10,000 times. The gap between immortal realm and half-holy is tens of thousands of times. Not to mention, the gap between half-saint and true saint is also a gap. The eternal immortality physique, which increases his strength, is already terrifying. But if he complements it in other aspects, it will be even more terrifying. When you killed the 5 semi-holy demonic beasts just now, none of them had an interspatial ring. Don't they all have any treasures? Shu Yuan was quite puzzled by this. 5.5 saints, there really is no interspatial ring. Doubts are doubts, and it's not worth Shu Yuan's thinking too much. Riding the wild dragon to shuttle between the snowy world, the current speed of the wild dragon is terrifying, about 100,000 miles in a blink of an eye. It is called a fast journey. I don't know how many times faster than the flying boat of Feiqian Pavilion. Well, there's really no comparison between mere airships and semi-holy demonic beasts. Ice Palace, is that the one? Soon, a huge ice palace came into view, and outside the palace, a human-like ice creature stood there. His aura was extremely terrifying, like an endless abyss, and the cold aura was even more impressive. The soul must be frozen. He looked at Shu Yuan, and his indifferent and vicissitudes voice sounded like a human being. I didn't expect you to be so powerful, and you killed those 5 scumbags. Let me guess, you should be a god? Or sacred body? The wild dragon stopped, and under that terrifying aura, he couldn't move forward. Are you their so-called master? Shu Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly. The other party knew that he had a physique, but he didn't know what his own physique was. Right? Immortal body. The only one in all time. It is not certain whether there is anyone in this world who knows. Even if there is, it must be that kind of supreme existence. And this one in front of you naturally cannot be a supreme existence. That's right. I am their master. I thought they could bring you back, but I didn't expect that you came by yourself. So I had to do it myself, said the human-like creature. You know, every time it takes a long time to recover after a single strike. However, beheading a god body or a sacred body is worth it. Sleeping? You're not the real body. Shu Yuan had already noticed that this was just an ice sculpture. What can really be maintained should be the gloomy divine light inside the ice sculpture. Of course, this is not my real body. The ice sculpture, who seemed human but not human, said, could it be that your body was suppressed in this restricted area? Shu Yuan thought of a possibility. Smart, ice sculpture boasted. Do you know why this ice-restricted area was formed? It is because of me. My existence has instinctively affected this world. What you see now is just a faint breath of mine. The possessed water is just gone. Shu Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly. His existence instinctively affects this world. Is it just his weak breath? So awesome. Real or fake? If it's true, it's kind of awesome. 497 pass. No matter how awesome you are still suppressed? My little sister, you let them capture you. So what is the so-called human pill? Shu Yuan asked. That's right, the main medicine of human pill, 9 heavens cold body. I felt at the moment she stepped into the ice-forbidden area, just like I felt it when you stepped in, but I don't know what kind of physique you have, that's all. However, I feel that it is not as cold as 9 heavens, which is comparable to a divine body. Weak quality. Do you know why I know she is 9 heavens cold body? Because I'm also 9 heavens cold body. The ice sculpture explained without haste. Shu Yuan was a little surprised. Did not expect. The opponent turned out to be 9 heavens cold body too. So, is it possible to perceive Gu Qingshu as 9 heavens cold body? If what the other party said is true, isn't that at least the cold body of 9 heavens 10,000 years ago? So, you take my little sister pill refining? Shu Yuan asked indifferently. Of course, the same 9 heavens cold body. If you use her to practice the human pill, there's a chance that my physique will evolve again, so as to break the shackles and climb to a higher realm, and even get out of trouble here. Originally, it was almost successful. However, you appeared, and I plan to use you as a side drug of the human pill, and refine them together to increase the level of the human pill. So, those trash went to arrest you, but you kill them instead. Your strength is actually so powerful. However, I'm not angry at all. On the contrary, I'm even more excited. It's not a pity that those bastards will die as soon as they die. But you can kill them with the cultivation base of a mortal realm. Ladies and gentlemen, you are the lowest, and there are all god bodies in the top ranks, and may even be sacred body. As long as I refine you together, I will definitely get a human pill that satisfies me. When Bing Sculpture said this, his tone became a little more crazy. Why? You just answer whatever I ask you. Shu Yuan asked curiously. Are you calculating? How can you tell everyone what others ask? Or, are you actually plotting against me? Chu Yuan was really interested in this. Ha ha ha. Bing's sculpture laughed loudly. Scheming palaces are naturally necessary. Calculations are common, but everything depends on the situation. To deal with the strong at the same level, or even stronger, it is natural to have scheming and calculations. But for the weak or ants, do you need too much calculation? Too much. I see. Chu Yuan nodded. So, you answered so many questions just now. Do you feel that you have decided on this seat? The other party said that calculations are only used when dealing with people of the same level or stronger. But for the weak and ants, there's no need to calculate, because calculations are too redundant. And the other party said so much to me just now. Did he regard himself as a weak person or an ant? Isn't this just eating him? Of course, not necessarily. Maybe the other party is still plotting against him. As for what the other party said, he did not believe everything. But what is certain is that the cheap little sister Gu Qingxue must be here. For Chu Yuan, that's enough. Although you have a strong physique, your strength is too weak after all. Even the sacred body has not yet grown up. Therefore, you are destined to perish here today. Therefore, it can also be said that I will eat it. You got it, and it's better to refine the human pill and eat it. The ice sculpture that seemed human but not human moved slowly after saying this. The aura and sense of oppression on his body were so terrifying that even Huanglong, a half-holy demonic beast, felt like an ant. Master, the opponent is very strong, Huanglong said solemnly. Chu Yuan nodded slightly and said, You back up first, back away, and Ben will deal with him next. Master, be careful. Huanglong also knew that he would be caught for a second if he stayed, and instead made trouble for his master. So he retreated decisively hundreds of thousands of miles away. Seeing that you won't be caught without a fight, then I can only beat you half to death, and then take it to pill refining. There is a crackling sound from the body of the ice sculpture, and the body made of crystal ice grew bigger at this moment, just like Chu Yuan's true self, standing upright. In his hands, the power of ice gathered and turned into a huge ice sword. Deshang's ice rules. Chu Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly. 7 layers of ice rules. Do not shush. In Chu Yuan's hand, a golden gun appeared, and behind him, a big black clock appeared. All of them are top-grade holy soldiers. There are quite a lot of treasures, but in the face of absolute power, they are in vain. Cut. The ice sculpture slashed out with a sword, and in an instant a large stream of ice sword chi came towards Chu Yuan's town. Chu Yuan didn't just sit still. A layer of Gundao rules was added to the best holy soldiers, and at the same time, the mighty immortal power poured into it. A spear thrust out, piercing the world. Boom! There was a loud noise, and Chu Yuan felt his arms go numb from the shock. There was a crackling sound, and the golden gun was stained with ice sword chi, and it froze immediately, and it continued to spread towards Chu Yuan. Boom! The power of a mortal hit the big black bell behind him, and a loud bell sounded immediately, and layers of sound waves swept towards the ice sword chi. Boom! The ice sword chi shattered directly, and the golden gun returned to normal. However, this is only the beginning. Chop, 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 chop. Ice sculptures are constantly frigid with ice swords. One after another ice sword chi sweeps out, and some ice sword chi bends and strikes from all directions at Chu Yuan. Deshang's ice rules permeate, and he wants to freeze Chu Yuan into an ice sculpture. The opponent is really difficult to deal with. The incomparably powerful power, coupled with Deshang's ice rules, is quite tricky. Shock! Boom! The sound of the bell swept out in all directions, but only part of the ice sword chi was shaken away, and there was still a large amount of ice sword chi attacking Chu Yuan. Holding the golden gun in his hand, Chu Yuan chose a direction to fight out. It is easier to smash the ice sword chi in one direction than in all directions. The power of immortal, boosted by the immortal physique, pushed the power of the golden gun to the extreme, and with the superposition of a layer of power of the law of guns, it directly shattered numerous ice sword chi in the 10 directions. At this time, Chu Yuan's self-image has been put away, and the self-image is too big, so it is difficult to avoid it. Break out of the siege and soar into the sky. However, those ice sword chi, like a spirit, pursued closely, and the combination of sword chi turned into a sword chi divine phoenix, chasing and killing Chu Yuan with vibrating wings. Master, Huanglong watched from a distance, full of worry. Although the master is extremely evil, he has not grown up after all, and the other party is an old monster who has lived for a long time. Even though the real body cannot be revealed, it is also extremely terrifying. It's too unfair to the master to meet such an old monster. What a hassle! Chu Yuan glanced at the ice divine phoenix behind him. The next moment, he directly offered a golden bowl. Naturally, it was half Saint King's soldier level golden bowl. After the 10,000-fold enhancement, the golden bowl also changed its appearance, and Rao Huanglong would not link it with the previous semi-holy golden bowl. The golden bowl appeared. Chu Yuan's immortal power poured into the golden bowl, and instantly the golden bowl released golden light in the golden light. The Gungjin rule was perfect. Boom! In an instant, the ice divine phoenix exploded directly. Half Saint King's soldiers. The ice sculpture's astonished voice sounded. You are an immortal, and you actually have such a treasure. Although it is not a real Saint King soldier, it is superior to the heavenly Saint King soldier. Moreover, what is contained in it is the sharp and hard Gungjin artistic conception. Not all holy weapons contain rules, such as golden guns and black bells. There are no rules. The holy weapon that contains the rules is undoubtedly stronger than the same level. However, holy weapons that contain rules are not so easy to build, because what is needed is the long-term nurturing and sacrifice of the holy realm. Generally speaking, there are only natal holy soldiers that exist in the holy realm, and the regiment will contain rules. This has also led to the fact that among the same level, the natal holy soldiers are generally stronger. It's just half a Saint King soldier, so why be surprised? Chu Yuan said indifferently. The tone is not small. Your immortal realm's cultivation base, if it weren't for the increase in physique, might not be able to mobilize half the Saint King soldiers. Even if it can be mobilized, I'm afraid the consumption is not small. Your cultivation base is too weak after all. The huge ice sculpture is coming step by step. I'd like to see how many times you can push it and resist it. The ice sculpture disappeared and appeared in front of Chu Yuan, slashing at him with his sword. He was going to fight Chu Yuan close to him. Chu Yuan collected the golden gun and the black bell and drove half the Saint King soldiers to fight the ice sculpture. Bang, bang, bang. There was a loud bang, and the aftermath swept hundreds of thousands of miles. The wild dragon was blown away by the aftermath, vomited blood, and was horrified. The aftermath is still like this. How terrifying is what the master endured. The master will not be defeated. He is destined to suppress everything. Huanglong stared at the distance. With half of the Saint King soldiers, Chu Yuan stood still and blocked all the attacks of the ice sculpture. After a long time, you haven't exhausted yourself yet. The ice sculpture was a little unbelievable, saying, although my aura is weak, its strength is beyond the realm of true sages, plus Deshang's ice rules. Are you blocking it? What kind of physique do you have, and why can it last so long? Ice sculpture felt extremely surprised for the first time, and he found that he had underestimated this human race a bit. I don't believe it. You won't exhaust yourself. The ice sculpture roared and slashed at the golden bowl with a sword. Is the power surpassing the true saint? In terms of power, there is an immortal body, and this seat is not much weaker than him. The only weak thing is the power of rules. If there is no golden bowl, it is quite difficult to match his Deshang ice rules. For trouble. It's good to have a whole car, but I don't want to use it now, since that's the case. Then I can only follow the ice rule and be higher than the opponent. After thinking for a while, Chu Yuan decided to insight into the ice mood. Once the ice rule is stronger than the opponent, then there is no fear of the opponent's ice rules. At that time, it will be much easier to suppress and kill the opponent. As for the stable gold bowl, although it is expensive for him, it is not too much. Even if he lasted for 10 days and a half months, it would not be a problem. The ice sculpture underestimated him. The eternal life and immortality body is not just as simple as longevity and immortality, but also has a steady stream of power. For the first time, Chu Yuan devoted himself to the conception of insight. In the past, he was multitasking, going all out, plus there are Deshang's ice rules outside as a reference. At this moment, Chu Yuan's progress has reached an unimaginable level. Before, his icy artistic conception was close to 1.5 floors. At this moment, he directly broke through to 1.5 floors. After a few minutes, he broke through 2 floors. If you want the ice rule to be stronger than the opponent, you must have at least 7.5 layers of the ice rule. 2.5 layers of artistic conception. After tens of thousands of enhancements, you can get a layer of rules. And if you want to obtain rules above 7.5 floors, you should at least have to comprehend the artistic conception to Deshang. Chu Yuan thought for a while. After a while, the artistic conception of ice, 2.5 floors. How was it possible? Why haven't you exhausted yourself? A long time passed. The ice sculpture was completely restless. Under his stormy offensive, the opponent was able to hold on, which was beyond his expectation. Wait, is he in insight frost mood? The ice sculpture's eyes widened even more in disbelief. To know, under the bombardment covered by the firepower just now, even 5-peak true saints controlling half of the Saint King soldiers at the same time must be exhausted. However, the opponent is only a mortal realm. Moreover, it's just a mortal realm first stage. Wrong. Damn divine body. Even the weaker sacred body can't have such abilities. He must be a powerful sacred body, or even the legendary Tao body. Just when the ice sculpture was shocked. Boom! Chu Yuan's icy artistic conception has already been realized. The artistic conception is small. What kind of savvy is this? Hell, no. Even if you can't take him down, you have to consume him. It's a godsend opportunity for such an existence to appear here. You will definitely be shocked and unmoved in the pill effect of refining people. Cut chop chop. The ice statue is like going crazy, and the offensive is even more ferocious. This made Chu Yuan startled, but he didn't care about that much, but continued to insight into the ice mood. Supreme aptitude and comprehension, the height of the first-level spear rules, and the 7-level Deshang ice rule as a reference, with a single-minded insight. This allowed him to achieve an unprecedented speed. 10 minutes later, 3.5 floors. After another 10 minutes, the 4th floor. After another 20 minutes, the 4.5 floors. In another 30 minutes, the 5th floor. The further you go, the harder it is. From the 5th to the 5.5 floors, it took him more than 40 minutes. From the 5.5 to the 6th floor, it took nearly an hour, that is half an hour. At this time, he had been in the Golden Bowl for almost 2 hours. Tao body, it must be Tao body. The ice sculpture kept muttering in its mouth. The offensive did not stop for a moment. Another hour passed. On the 7th floor, the artistic conception of ice is perfect. 2 more hours later, the 8th floor of the artistic conception of water. 3 more hours later, the 9th floor of the ice conception. At this point, 8 hours have passed. 9 floors, actually 9 floors. And it's not exhausted yet. Ice sculptures have doubted life. At this moment, more than half of the blue divine light inside the ice sculpture has been consumed. 9 floors, after tens of thousands of times of strengthening. Can you get the great success of the ice rule? Chu Yuan is not sure. After all, a layer of Gungjin rules on the Golden Bowl will become a perfect Gungjin rule only after it is strengthened 10,000 times. Then let's talk about insight until it reaches its consummation. Chu Yuan made up his mind. What? He noticed Bing's faint blue divine light. Just now, the Yulon divine light has been shining, and it looks like it has never diminished. But now, only half of it is left. That's right, he's just a breath. It will be exhausted naturally. From this point of view, perhaps, I don't need to rush to strengthen the ice mood 10,000 times. Just kill the opponent directly. Of course, you can continue to inside ice concept. And a gleam flashed in Chu Yuan's eyes. I should keep a hand. Think here. Chu Yuan continued to insight into the ice mood, and the transmission of his immortal power began to decrease. It looked like it was beginning to be powerless. The ice sculpture began to notice Chu Yuan's situation. Finally starting to burn out, time passed little by little, and more than 4 hours passed again. Boom! The artistic conception of ice is complete. Buzz, buzz! The golden bowl began to tremble, looking like it might be unstoppable at any time. Chu Yuan's complexion became more and more pale. Human race, what's the use of your inside ice concept? You can't hold it anymore. However, I'm impressed by being able to hold it for so long. The ice sculpture said indifferently. I'm so surprised you have a Tao body. However, even a Tao body can be exhausted sometimes. Chu Yuan said weakly. Let's see. Who will be exhausted first? Good king. The ice sculpture held a cold ice sword and slashed at the golden bowl with the sword. Repeated countless times. Another 4 hours or so passed. Sure enough, the more difficult it gets, the rudiment of the frost artistic conception has yet to be comprehended. At least it will take half a day, and there are still the Shang frost rules as a reference. Chu Yuan was quite helpless. Click! Suddenly, a broken sound sounded, and the ice sword and ice sculpture's hand shattered directly, and he half-kneeled on the ground unwillingly. Human race, you won. This time, I was careless. Don't be complacent. Wait for me to get out of trouble. Then I will settle accounts with you. Bang, bang, bang. The blue divine light dissipated, and the ice sculpture turned into ice scum and splashed everywhere. Chu Yuan put away the golden bowl. Master, Huanglong leaned over quickly. He knew that people would win. The master is invincible. Master, let's go and save your little sister. Huanglong flew under Chu Yuan and picked him up. Just stay here and wait for me, Chu Yuan said. Soon, Chu Yuan, whose face was pale and rather weak, came to the cold water palace. He kicked the Qianzhong ice gate into pieces, walked in step by step. In front of his eyes, a huge, icy human cauldron was hanging in the air by many icy chains. Gu Qingxue should be inside. Chu Yuan approached slowly. However, at this moment, a sudden change occurred. A icy sword chi suddenly cut out from Chu Yuan's back. When? It was a loud bang. Half of the Saint King's golden bowl had already blocked behind him. Chu Yuan turned around slowly and said, I know, you're not that simple. Chu Yuan turned around slowly. Now, all the weakness and pallor in him disappeared. He stood proudly, indifferently, with immortal divine light shining, like an immortal god king, overlooking the world. And at the entrance of the Great Hall of Ice, in front of the Qianzhong Gate that was kicked into pieces by Chu Yuan just now, at some point, there was an extra figure of ice blocking the door. The icy body that seems human but not human, and the wide, icy giant sword still maintain the appearance of being cut by a sword. No doubt, the ice sword chi just now came from his hands, and his appearance is exactly the same as the ice sculpture that was broken outside just now. The only difference is that the blue divine light inside his body is more than 10 times larger and more intense than the one outside. Breath. Naturally, it was 10 times more terrifying. Ka. Ice sculpture took back the great ice sword, took a deep look at Chu Yuan, and said indifferently, You too. I also know that you are not that simple. You are so cunning at such a young age. You humans really have a lot of eyes. Chu Yuan was non-committal, but said, You have a lot of eyes. Deliberately let the ice sculpture outside dissipate, and let me be careless. Then wait here for me to come in, and then sneak attack. Keep one more hand in order to be prepared. Just like you, if you hadn't kept one hand, you would have been frozen by my sword just now. The ice sculpture didn't act in a hurry. It just stood there, releasing an incomparably powerful aura, causing the void to vibrate. There was a divine light in Chu Yuan's eyes. From the very beginning, He never believed the words of the ice sculpture outside. Now, he knows he was right. That ice sculpture talked so much to him, nothing more than creating an illusion for Chu Yuan that the ice sculpture was the final boss, making Chu Yuan relax his vigilance. Actually, the ice sculpture outside was only used to test or weaken Chu Yuan. The real highlight is hidden in it, and it will sneak attack as soon as it comes. If he had been careless just now, he might have caught it. I keep one hand, you should have already guessed it. Especially, I didn't bring the mount in. Chu Yuan said calmly. That's right, you haven't been weak for so long, and your sudden weakness will inevitably arouse suspicion, but I'm not sure. So, let that body release all its strength to consume you. Until you didn't bring that when the wild dragon came in, I knew that you should be prepared. However, I still chose to sneak attack. In case I was too worried and you were not prepared at all. Or, in case, after seeing Human Cauldron, you lost your mind, I succeeded. Speaking of this, Bing Sculpture shook his head and smiled. Unfortunately, none of these situations happened. As he said that, the ice giant sword pointed at Chu Yuan, and the terrifying killing intent almost materialized. However, it doesn't matter if you don't succeed in the sneak attack. Your biggest reliance is just that tortoise shell. Before, the body was too weak for the defense of the turtle shell. But it's different now. In this great hall of ice, not only my strength is more than 10 times stronger than the outside, but the rules of the ice can also use the perfection level. Half Saint King Soldier, you can't stop me. As soon as his voice fell, the perfect ice rule appeared around him. The surrounding void began to freeze, and the temperature was extremely low, making even the soul field tingling. The ice sculptures are strategizing, as if they have everything in their hands. He stared at Chu Yuan indifferently. I'd like to see how long you can last in an immortal state with your unknown Tao body, and that tortoise shell that contains the perfect Gungjin artistic conception. Support, Chu Yuan's playful voice sounded. Perhaps there is no need to hold on. Ice sculpture was taken aback for a moment. Isn't the semi-saint soldier that this human race can rely on? Without the perfect Gungjin artistic conception inside the tortoise shell, this human race couldn't stop him at all. But using a tortoise shell isn't a tough one. Go! However, at this moment, an indifferent voice came. With Chu Yuan as the center, 10 blood-colored banners instantly formed a formation and spread out. Before the ice sculpture could react, it was shrouded in formation. This formation is naturally Si Danyang's Blood Devil formation. When Chu Yuan broke through the formation from the inside, he did not destroy the formation flag. What's more, it was strengthened 10,000 times by him, from the incomplete lower-rank Saint level to the incomplete lower-rank Saint King level. That's right, after being strengthened 10,000 times, it's still incomplete. Chu Yuan seems to have understood a little bit the 10,000-fold enhancement. Most of it is to enhance the power and level. It seems that it will not be completed. Whoosh whoosh. At the same time, 10 blood essences flew out and disappeared into the battle flags. All of them were semi-holy blood essences. Immediately afterwards, the top-grade holy crystal also merged into the circle of the formation flag. Although there is no such thing as Si Danyang's 100 soul palace-like slaves to help control it. However, the array, BCBA, has taken shape. In a short period of time, the formation is very stable. Boom, boom, boom. Almost at the moment when it was shrouded by formation, the ice sculpture swung the giant ice sword and slashed in all directions. However, even with the blessing of the perfect ice rule, it can't break through the formation, but it makes the formation tremble slightly. Residual Saint King level formation. Ice Sculpture was extremely surprised. You are a small immortal realm first stage. Even if you have half the Saint King soldiers, there is such a formation. Moreover, it is hidden so deep. You have been reluctant to use it outside before, right? Isn't it just to guard against you? Chu Yuan stood outside the formation, extremely calm. Do you think that the residual Saint King level formation can keep me trapped? It's impossible. When I come out, you won't be able to escape. Ice Sculpture said in a deep voice. At this moment, he was already angry, He never thought that a mere immortal realm would be so difficult to deal with. He didn't underestimate each other. They all specially kept one hand, but unexpectedly, they still failed to win the other party. Instead, he himself was trapped in the formation. What the hell is this immortal environment? The true saint has come, and he has to die several times. Boom! The ice dragon kept attacking the formation, trying to break through the formation. Not to mention, the formation was trembling nonstop by him for a little longer. It can really be broken by him. I didn't intend to give you a chance to come out. A cold light flashed in Chu Yuan's eyes. The other party wants to refine him into a human pill, so naturally he will not let the other party go easily. Chu Yuan felt that what the ice sculpture outside said before was half true and half false. The opponent's body should really be suppressed in this ice forbidden zone, and the ice forbidden zone is very likely to be formed because of the opponent. Moreover, the other party is likely to be really Nine Heavens cold body. Therefore, Gu Qingxue should be used to refine the human pill. Moreover, the power that the opponent can use is limited, and if he makes a move, he may really have to sleep for a long time. It's just that it doesn't refer to the ice sculpture outside, but the ice sculpture inside. In fact, whether it is outside or inside, it is the same. It's all about the strength of the other party's breath. It should be so much power that the opponent can make a shot at one time. If there is a stronger power hidden, there is no need not to take it out. Because the other party thinks that Chu Yuan is a Dao body, which is a great use. That should be done with all your might. So, Chu Yuan can roughly judge that, if there is no accident, this powerful ice sculpture is the most powerful force that the suppressed existence can use. If this power is wiped out, the suppressed existence should be in a deep sleep for a long time. Therefore, Chu Yuan decided to help the other party and let the other party fall asleep quickly. Aren't you going to let me out? Huh. Formation can't keep me trapped. The ice sculpture snorted coldly. Even if it takes half an hour, I can't be trapped. The meaning of this seat is not to trap you, but to completely obliterate your breath. Chu Yuan didn't hide it and said directly, "Ha ha ha, what a joke." Ice sculpture laughed angrily. "Human race, you are only able to trap me with the residual Saint King formation. Why do you think you can kill me?" Naturally this. In Chu Yuan's hand, the golden bowl of the half-Saint King soldier appeared again. However, this time, there was a cloud of blood mist in the golden bowl. Meteor Saint Demon blood. In the storage ring just now, it was strengthened 10,000 times by Chu Yuan. At this moment, it can corrupt any creature below the Saint King level. Not to mention the living beings in the interspatial ring, the cauldrons of the middle grade Holy Soldier level have all been corroded. Chu Yuan also used half of the golden bowl of the Saint King soldiers, and the regiment took it down in a short time. Saint Meteor Demon blood? Is it such an evil thing? Besides, isn't it just ordinary Saint Meteor Demon blood? How do you have this thing? The ice sculpture trembled all over. Seeing the blood of Meteor Saint Demon, the faint blue divine light in his body trembled instinctively. There are plenty of things in this seat. Chu Yuan smiled lightly. Humph. Bing Ying snorted coldly, pretending to be calm. This thing is really powerful, but it can't do it if you want to corrupt me. Human race, I think we can talk about conditions. Oh, Chu Yuan was slightly surprised. What is there to talk about? You retreat here, I don't blame the past, but Rindan has to stay. Ice Sculpture said coldly. Don't think I'm afraid of you. I just feel that the blood of the falling Saint Demon is a little difficult to deal with. It's not that it can't solve it. I'm tired, I don't want to fight you to death. When the time comes, none of us will benefit. But, Chu Yuan smiled lightly. How do you feel that you are actually afraid of the blood of the meteor? Chu Yuan didn't believe that the other party was really not afraid. After speaking, Chu Yuan went directly to the formation and put the golden bowl on it. At the same time, Wei Wei manipulated the formation and put the blood of Meteor Saint Demon into it. Humans, you! The startled voice of the ice sculpture sounded. He wanted to swing the ice giant sword to attack Meteor Saint Ma Xue, but the ice giant sword was directly corroded. In fact, whether it is the ice sculpture itself or the ice giant sword, It's all just condensed by Yulan Xinguang's control of ice rules. Weapons don't even count. It can't resist the corrosion of the Meteor Saint Demon's blood at all. What? Not long after, screams came from the formation. I saw the blood mist transform from the blood of the Meteor Saint Demon, wrapping the blue divine light and corroding it little by little. Of course, with every bit of corrosion, the holy Meteor Demon blood will also dissipate a bit. It's like two forces cancel each other out. He ignored the ice sculpture, or, to be precise, it was Yulan Xinguang's scream. Chu Yuan flew directly onto the huge ice-human cauldron. The power of the immortal body is activated. Lift the cover of the huge ice-human cauldron directly with bare hands. Everything in the human cauldron came into view. There are so many precious medicines that people are dazzled. All are floating. And in the middle, a huge lotus flower. A figure is curled into a ball. She was wearing a thin dress, and her hair was dark and long. The skin is as white as snow, the eyebrows are like yuan dye, and the beauty is like celestial immortals. It's just that at this moment, her face is extremely pale and weak, and I feel pity for her. Waves of ice power floated out of her body directly. Along with it, there are all kinds of precious medicine breaths. Gu Qingxiu, seeing her, Chu Yuan no longer hesitated. He flew directly over and held her in his arms. With a backhand, all the precious medicines were received into the interspatial ring. The 8th and 9th ranks, and even the holy treasure medicines, are all in large bundles. What? The screams continued, especially after seeing Chu Yuan carry Gu Qingxiu out. Even more crazy, Chu Yuan looked intently and saw that the Yulan divine light had already been corroded by half and was fleeing everywhere. But there's a formation blocking it, so I can't jump out. Meteor Saint Demon blood, corrosion life, spiritual breath is the most powerful, and the effect of corroding other things is mediocre. This formation naturally cannot be corroded, and under the entanglement of the blood of the Meteor Saint, Yulan Xinguang has been unable to form the body of the ice sculpture, let alone break through the formation. Youth of a human race, I will not let you go. At most 100 years, I will escape. Even if you escape to the Cape of Tianya, I will definitely kill you. In the faint blue divine light, the voice of vicissitudes that seemed human, but not human, was full of endless hatred. Why do you need 100 years? After a while, I will personally kill you. Chu Yuan's indifferent voice sounded. The opponent's aura is so powerful, let alone itself. Today's Chu Yuan is definitely not the other party's opponent. But after a period of time, not necessarily. Now that they have become enemies, Chu Yuan will not let the other party live for too long. Century? For others, it's nothing. But for Chu Yuan, it was still a long time. Maybe it's not me who will kill you when the time comes. Chu Yuan lowered his head and glanced at the beauty in his arms. Then strode away. As for the Blood Devil formation, he didn't want it either. He didn't want to stay here for too long, lest any unexpected accidents happen. After Chu Yuan left the Ice Palace, he flew towards the distance at top speed. Owner, not long after, Huang Long appeared in front of him. Chu Yuan jumped on Huang Long's head and said, "Go, leave the restricted area directly." At the next moment, the wild dragon turned into golden light and disappeared into the sky. On Huang Long's head, Chu Yuan sat cross-legged and released Gu Qingxiu from the princess's arms. It's too weak. Not only the body is weak, but the soul is also very weak, so it fell into a deep sleep. After checking it, Chu Yuan probably understood Gu Qingxiu's situation. This is... Gu Qingxiu's two petite hands were tightly held together. After he separated slightly, he found that she was holding a snowflake in her hand. No, it is a precious medicine. Moreover, it is also a 7th grade precious medicine, the holy flower of snow lotus. The effect is that it can upgrade people's low-level qualifications to medium-level qualifications. Isn't this the sacred snow lotus that Zhao Hao told her about? It was really found by her, and she still held it in her hand to protect it. There is no doubt that I want to take it back and give her a high. Don't she know that she almost can't survive? At this time, Do you still think about Big Brother? Chu Yuan sighed quietly, almost shed tears of envy. Then he said seriously, such a little sister is really enviable. Now she's mine. Chu Yuan took out the holy product medicine pill, which restores the spirit and blood of the body, gave it to Gu Qingxue, and then used the power of a mortal to help her dissipate the medicine. Recover slowly, and you should be able to wake up in a short time. Chu Yuan nodded in satisfaction. Although Gu Qingxue was very weak, she was fine. She didn't hurt her foundations. She just rested for a while. It can be regarded as a blessing in disguise. My own cultivation base has broken through to the 5th stage of the Soul Palace realm. More than half a year ago, Gu Qingxue was still in the 9th stage of the Divine Alchemy realm, and there was still a magical realm in the middle of the Soul Palace realm. However, it has only been a few months, and she has already become the 5th stage of the Soul Palace realm. If she practiced on her own, at most she could only reach the 5th stage of supernatural powers. Although she has a 9 heavens cold physique that is comparable to a divine physique, it still takes time to cultivate. 2 or 6 months is undoubtedly very short. Furthermore, her body has also absorbed a large amount of medicinal power of the precious medicine. In the future cultivation, the medicinal power of these precious medicines will be exerted, and her cultivation speed will not be too slow. At least, it was like this before in the Holy Land. He knew Gu Qingxue's situation at a glance. At the same time, he also took out a semi-Holy Spirit garment that could be changed at will from the interspatial ring, changed it into the clothes Gu Qingxue liked, and helped her wear it on her body. Master, it's time for the exit. Huanglong's voice sounded, and there was a light gate in front of him. Huanglong rushed out without hesitation, and in a blink of an eye, he appeared outside the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, and behind him were the 3 light gates. Chu Yuan heaved a sigh of relief. The reason why the Blood Devil was gone and left the ice-restricted area as quickly as possible was because he was worried that the existence inside had other means. After all, the existence that has been suppressed here for more than 10,000 years, with an aura surpassing that of a true saint, who knows if the other party has other means. If the opponent goes crazy and uses some terrorist methods regardless of the cost, it will be bad. And after leaving the ice-forbidden area, it will be much better. At least, the opponent should not be able to affect the outside here. Otherwise, the ice land should not only be inside the light gate. The ice-restricted area is likely to suppress an ancient 9 heavens cold body, and the other 2 restricted areas, the poisonous fog restricted area and the earth fire restricted area, are they the same? Chu Yuan couldn't help thinking. Could it be that the meaning of the existence of the Baiduan Mountain restricted area is to suppress them? But why should they be suppressed? What mistakes did they make? Also, at the very least, the person in the ice-forbidden area should not be a human race. And those who suppress them. Chu Yuan glanced at the gun intent on the light gate and said softly, "It should be a powerful gun, Tao existence. Master, shall we leave, or?" The wild dragon stopped in front of the 3 light gates. The master only said that he was leaving the ice-forbidden zone, but he didn't say where he was going, so he asked, "Let's stop here for a moment. This seat will gain insight into the spear intent here." Chu Yuan said slowly, "Now that Gu Qingxue has been found, the ice-forbidden zone should not be able to threaten them, so there is nothing urgent to leave in a hurry. By the way, you should also gain insight into the Gongjin rules to improve your strength." Chu Yuan threw the golden bowl to Huanglong. "Master, this..." Huanglong was dumbfounded. This is a half-Saint King soldier. "Lend your insight. It's not a gift. Why are you so excited?" Chu Yuan chuckled lightly. Huanglong felt a little embarrassed immediately and said, "Of course I also know that the master lent me insight, but it's still too expensive. Treasures are just foreign objects, and your own strength is the most important thing." Chu Yuan said seriously, "In time, when your strength can really control this golden bowl, it doesn't matter if I give it to you. Quickly insight, don't bother me with words." Finally, Chu Yuan waved his hand. Huanglong nodded, very moved. He, desolate dragon, is dispensable to his master, but he has seen it with his own eyes The master beating a semi-holy man like him is like crushing an ant to death. So what kind of ice giant dragon? Snow fox, those who die are humble. However, he is such a useless dragon, but the master treats him so well, how can he not be moved? Even if there is no master, he is just a sixth-order demonic beast now. Moreover, it might have been beheaded. He knew the group of people who disturbed the master Qingxiu in the Huanglong cave before. They were the people behind the people he killed, and that vicious woman. If the master hadn't killed that woman, he would have killed that woman too. And those behind the scenes found him, he must be dead. Therefore, it is the master's gift that he can live and become a semi-saint. For the sake of the master, he will go to the sky and enter the earth, and he will not hesitate to die. At the entrance of the 3 restricted areas, a strange scene appeared. A huge wild dragon was staring at a golden bowl, sometimes opening and sometimes closing eyes, gaining insight into the artistic conception of Gengjin. On top of the huge faucet, an extremely handsome young man sat cross-legged, staring at the big characters on the entrances of the 3 restricted areas, evolving the rules of the gunway. And a fairy-like woman who was so beautiful that she was exiled from a fairy was lying on his lap with her eyes closed quietly. Gu Qingxue's condition gradually improved, and her pale complexion gradually turned rosy. 3 days later, Hengduan City. I heard that the city lord of our Hengduan city has died, and those big families in the city are fighting overtly and secretly for the position of the city lord. I have also heard about this matter, but it is said that the city owner is the royal family of the Tianfeng kingdom. These families in Hengduan City are vying for the position of the city owner. Are you not afraid that the royal family of the Tianfeng kingdom will intervene? TCH, what does it matter if the lord of Hengduan City is dead? I heard that the emperor of Tianfeng kingdom has also fallen. Really? No way. Didn't you say that the emperor is a golden body? That's right. The emperor of the Tianfeng kingdom is a Jinshin state. He created the Tianfeng kingdom 1,000 years ago, was recognized by the Yuhua dynasty, and became a subsidiary country of the Yuhua dynasty. Emperor, it is said that he is still at the peak of his power, and it will not be a problem to be emperor for another 1,000 years. Did he really fall like this? Could there be any fake ones? The entire Emperor Tianfeng has already made a fuss. I heard that those princes are also vying for the throne. So, who has time to take care of Hengduan City? It doesn't matter whether the emperor is an emperor or not. Daddies are pursuing the way. Who is the emperor, and what does it have to do with daddies? I remember that not long ago, there were 5 golden carts pulled by Jiaolong that drove over Hengduan City and then went to the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain. The golden carts of the 5 flood dragons seemed to be the emperor's car of Tianfeng Kingdom. In this way, he should be fell into the forbidden area of Baiduan Mountain. The restricted area of Baiduan Mountain is really dangerous. Yeah, don't talk about the golden body. Remember those 2 immortal monks? Of course I remember. How could I forget? Chu Yuan, who was rumored to be the reincarnation of a saint, comprehended the rules of spear intent on the stone tablet in the forbidden area of Baiduan Mountain and killed the golden elder Tsikong of Tianlong Temple. Then, 2 immortal realm eminent monks of Tianlong Temple, I came to seek revenge on Chu Yuan, but I don't know if I found Chu Yuan, but instead provoked a half-sacred wild dragon in the forbidden area of Baiduan Mountain and was killed. Half-sage, even in the Yuhua dynasty, he can control one side. On that day, the old man saw with his own eyes that the mighty barren dragon chased out of the Hengduan Mountains from the restricted area of Baiduan Mountains and killed 2 immortal realms. That scene was too terrifying. The sky collapsed, and the earth fell, and the mountains were reduced to ashes. I don't know if Chu Yuan is dead or not. Shouldn't be dead. He has comprehended the rules of the way of guns, and he can instantly kill the golden body, and his cultivation-based breakthrough is very fast. Maybe he is now in the Soul Palace. It's not necessarily true. Maybe when I meet an existence like the half-holy wild dragon, I'll be swallowed in one bite. In a restaurant in Hengduan City, countless cultivators are discussing not only this restaurant but also most other places. Umitba, Umitba, Umitba. However, at this moment, a resounding Sanskrit sound came from between heaven and earth, and the four words Umitba entered my ears, shaking my soul. Ah! Immediately, countless people in Hongduan City could not help but hug their heads and howl. Sanskrit sounds are terrifying and tormenting, but they are not fatal. Even ordinary people will not die if they listen to them, but the pain will be worse than death. Of course, some people will vomit blood in pain, not die, but will be seriously injured. Tenryuji Temple. It's the people from Tenryuji Temple. Humanity with supernatural powers. Where? Countless people looked around, but they were extremely afraid in their hearts. In the sky, some people couldn't help but suddenly shrank their pupils, and everyone looked at it intently, and they were stunned. I saw a gigantic sky dragon passing through the sky of Hongduan City without stopping. Above Tianlong, terrifying auras continued to come, as if the sky was collapsing and the earth was cracking. It was terrifying. The sky and the earth were pale, and the sun and the moon were dark. That day, the dragon was actually composed of figures of powerful men. My God. How many people have been dispatched from Tianlong Temple this time? They're going in the Hongduan Mountains and the restricted area of Baiduan Mountains. Is it because of Chu Yuan? Not necessarily. Maybe it's to kill that semi-holy wild dragon. Is it possible to kill the half-holy wild dragon? Ask for flowers. Nothing is impossible. I heard that there are 3 half-Buddhas in Tianlong Temple, and each of them is a half-sage. Terrible, it's too scary. Such a force can destroy the royal family of Tianfeng Kingdom with one finger. The breath of those many strong men is too terrifying. How many golden body and immortal realms are there? Countless people said in amazement. The people of Tianlong Temple came and went quickly, and soon the painful Sanskrit sound disappeared, and countless people sat on the ground, gasping for breath, as if they were still alive after a catastrophe. There are many more people with expressions of fear on their faces. Even if they passed by in such a terrifying way, what would it be like if they descended on Hongduan City? Latest news. Big news. Some people got the latest and most exciting news from the Wanchitong organization, and they shouted one after another. What happened? What big news? Countless people are extremely curious. The latest news is that those people from Tianlong Temple are going for Chu Yuan. They have already gone to Tianyin sect and learned that Chu Yuan's soul lamp is not extinguished, and they also captured the big elder of Tianyin sect. It turned out to be for Chu Yuan, and Chu Yuan has been in the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain for so long, and he really didn't die. I'm not dead. I'm afraid I'm not far away from death. There are too many people from Tianlong Temple. Even if he is really the reincarnation of the ancient saint, he hasn't grown up yet. Facing the siege of Tianlong Temple, he is in danger. If you kill Chu Yuan, you will kill Chu Yuan. Why do you want to capture the elder of Tianyin sect? Do you want to threaten Chu Yuan? This is wrong. I heard that Chu Yuan. We broke up with Tianyin Zone a long time ago. That's wrong. Chu Yuan just broke up with some people in the Tianyin sect. Those people can't represent the Tianyin sect. Moreover, the elder of the Tianyin sect is Chu Yuan's little sister, Gu Qingshue's master. Chu Yuan won't ignore Gu Qingshue's face. There's a good show to watch. How about going to see it? Aren't you afraid of death? It's okay. Look at it from a distance. As long as you don't approach it like a fool, it will be fine. The existence of a suspected ancient saint and a behemoth like Tianlong Temple, I have to say, it is really attractive, and it would be a pity to miss it. Go, gain a lot of knowledge. I'm making it clear. Go back and hide away. In addition, if they enter the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, they won't go there. Hongduan Mountain Range can still be seen. There are not many people who like to watch the bustle. Not to mention, it is such a big bustle that is rarely seen in hundreds of years. Immediately, a steady stream of people began to go to the Hongduan Mountains one after another, from the realm to the Soul Palace realm. There are all kinds of realms. The strong are with the strong, and the weak are with the weak. A group of people from Tianlong Temple stopped on the sky dome of the stone tablet in the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain. Many existences of the spear intent on those inside stone tablets raised their heads in shock. However, these people in Tianlong Temple ignored the people below. They were high above, and they were not interested in the ants below. The 2.5 Buddhas, don't you just enter the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain? Asked an immortal venerable. Among the group of people in Tianlong Temple, the first half Buddha and the second half Buddha walked in the front, and then there were nearly 20 immortal realms, and after that, more than 40 golden body realms, and more than 100 soul palace realm, and 800 supernatural power realm. It can be said that almost all of them came out. This kind of power is too strong. If you just take out a little bit, you can push all the top sect powers in Yufengguai at will. At this time, the 2 elders of the Golden Realm are in charge of leading the Tianyin sect Elder Yuqiani. At this moment, Yuqiani's cultivation base has been sealed. There are too many unknown factors in the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain. Take the desolate dragon that killed the 2 fat and thin venerables as an example. I have never heard of it before. I don't know how many such existences exist. The emaciated first half of Buddhism. Anyway, this is the only exit of the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, and I also inquired just now, Chuyuan has not come out, so just wait here. At the very least, let's wait until the third half of the Buddha bring the Buddha's son from Lane's sacred land. Finished. He threw out the Tianlong Zen staff in his hand. The next moment, the Zen staff directly turned into a metal Tianlong. There is no doubt that this is also this semi-holy weapon. He said slowly, "Get on the Zen staff and wait." Baiduan Mountain restricted area. Outside the entrance of the 3 restricted areas. Boom! Around Chuyuan, the gun rules have broken through, reaching the level of 2.5 layers. Before the gun rules were on the first level, he had insight together with other Yijing. It's almost 1.5 floors. Therefore, he had insight at the entrance of the restricted zone for less than half a day, and he broke through to the first floor and a half. After that, he had insight for more than 2 days, and once again raised the floor to reach the current 2.5 level. Gun intent is the will of the gun. The gunway rules are after the gun intent is sublimated. A way of existence and operating rules, both in power and coercion, are far beyond the gun intent. After feeling Chu Yuan's astonishing spear intent, Huanglong stopped involuntarily and said in astonishment, "Master's gunway rules have broken through again. Is this over the limit?" "Sigh, I've been looking at the golden bowl for 3 days, but Mao didn't get it. It's too much of a blow to the dragon." Huanglong couldn't help showing a wry smile, then buried his head in insight, making up for his weakness with hard work, and redoubled his efforts. At this time, Chu Yuan breathed a sigh of relief and looked down at the big beauty on her lap. At this moment, Gu Qingshue's complexion had returned to normal. The body has returned to normal, but the soul is still almost there. In addition, the mental energy is too exhausted. It may not be possible to wake up in the first or 2 days. Later, Chu Yuan found the snow-shaped sacred snow lotus flower in the interspatial ring and took a look with the scanning eyes. Snow lotus sacred flower, 7th rank treasure medicine, can upgrade low-level qualifications to medium-level resources and can be enhanced 10,000 times. Yes/no. Chu Yuan clicked yes. Ding! 10,000 times enhanced success 067. The system's prompt sounded, and then the information in front of him changed. Snow lotus sacred flower, a low-grade holy medicine, which can increase Deva's capital to 10 times Deva's capital. Low-grade holy medicine can also be called low-grade holy medicine or low-grade holy medicine. They all have the same meaning. It's a pity my current aptitude has already exceeded 10 times Deva's capital. This thing is useless to me, and it is even useless to Gu Qingxue. Chu Yuan scratched the bridge of her nose lightly and said helplessly, "I almost lost my life, but it turned out to be a waste of work." Although it was useless to him, it was obtained by Gu Qingshue's hard work. To Gu Qingxue, it had a different meaning. Therefore, Chu Yuan didn't take it out, otherwise, he could throw it to Huanglong to eat. After all, Huanglong's aptitude is not very good. There are too few precious medicines for improving aptitude. Among so many precious medicines in this seed, except for this sacred snow lotus flower, none of them can improve aptitude. Low rank and low rank saint level, not to mention. Chu Yuan thought to himself, by the way, this lord remembers that among the precious medicines that went along in the ice human cauldron, there is exactly one that I can use right now. Chu Yuan searched in the interspatial ring and soon found a strange-looking grass in a corner. Dead business. Liangyi life and death grass. A 9th-grade precious medicine can also be called a 9th-level precious medicine. It contains a layer of artistic conception of life and artistic conception of death. After taking it, one can instantly grasp a layer of artistic conception of life and death. In terms of existence, this is a supreme treasure. Immortal realm, insight realm of life and realm of death, breakthrough higher realm. However, how can these two artistic conceptions be so good? For most people, it is difficult for kaiju to comprehend. The artistic conception of Xiaoqing enters the golden body, and the artistic conception of Deshang enters the immortal. Immortal realms, at least one has mastered one Deshang artistic conception, but the mastered artistic conception is not necessarily the artistic conception of life or the artistic conception of death, because the difficulty of these two moods is very high. Most of the masters are artistic concepts such as swords, guns and swords, gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. Comprehending the artistic conception of life and death is several times more difficult than others. Moreover, the artistic conception of life and the artistic conception of death can also form the artistic conception of life and death. Of course, the Liangyi life and death grass is for an existence that has mastered the artistic conception of life and the artistic conception of death beyond one level. It was of no use at all. But for this seat, this is really an amazing baby, Chu Yuan said in his heart. Subsequently, Liangyi life and death grass. 9th grade treasure medicine. After taking it, you can instantly grasp a layer of the artistic conception of life and death, which can be strengthened 10,000 times. Yes/no. Get started. The next moment, Liangyi life and death grass. Top grade holy medicine. After taking it, you can instantly grasp the artistic conception of perfect life and death. Seeing this, Chu Yuan couldn't help grinning. It's great. Next, take it out, and under the immortal power package, swallow it in one gulp, and it will melt in your stomach. A series of perceptions about the artistic conception of life and death poured into his sea of consciousness and his soul in an instant. In an instant, these perceptions were digested by him. The perfect artistic conception of life and death, and it spread around him. The wild dragon has been awakened from the inside, and after feeling the two states of complete satisfaction, he is stupid. What is the matter with the master? Why did he master the two states of complete satisfaction so quickly? It is incomprehensible, too. Incomprehensible. Forget it. It's normal if I can't understand it. And it's strange if I can understand it. Master, it's too monstrous. Huanglong couldn't help sighing in his heart. Yet he lamented that it was just over. Boom! The power of Chu Yuan Immortal was shocked, and the cultivation base began to soar. His cultivation base was able to break through before, but he didn't comprehend these two artistic concepts, so the cultivation base just stayed. Now that he has comprehended it, he no longer suppresses its own cultivation base. The immortal realm, from the 1st stage to the peak of the 4th stage, is the realm of life. From the 5th stage to the peak of the 8th stage is the realm of death, and from the 9th stage to the peak of the 9th stage is the immortal realm of life and death. Habitat. To comprehend the artistic conception of life at the 1st level, you can break through to the peak of the 2nd stage. The artistic conception of life at the 2nd level, you can break through the peak of the 3rd stage. And at the 3rd level, that is, the artistic conception of life of Xiaoqing, you can break through to the peak of the 4th stage. Death, similarly, upwards breakthrough. Therefore, if you want to reach the peak of immortal 8th stage, you have to master Xiaoqing's artistic conception of life and Xiaoqing's artistic conception of death. After merging the two Xiaoqing moods into Xiaoqing's life and death mood, you can enter the immortal realm 9th stage and 9th stage peak. At this time, the combination of life and death, I am in you, and you are in me, plus the magic of the power of immortal. As long as the soul is immortal, and the power of immortal is hidden in the blood, you can achieve rebirth with a drop of blood. Maj. For Chu Yuan, who has mastered these two states of satisfaction, the cultivation-based breakthrough is naturally unimpeded and a matter of course. Immortal Realm, 1st stage peak. Immortal Environment, 2nd stage. Immortal Realm, 2nd stage peak. Immortal Realm, 7th stage peak. Immortal Realm, 8th stage. Immortal Realm, 8th stage peak. It wasn't until now that it stopped. Break 7.5 small realms in a row. Good. Under the increase of the eternal life body, the strength becomes more and more terrifying. Although you have mastered the complete artistic conception of life and death, they still exist independently. If you want to combine and fuse, you need insight. However, the fusion only needs to reach the point of small success, and I can continue to break through. Chu Yuan is quite satisfied. Moreover, it doesn't take much time for him to integrate the artistic conception. Congratulations to the master for making great progress in Cultivation Base. Huanglong's joyful voice came. The owner Cultivation Base has made great progress, and he's also happy for the owner. Moreover, he was not surprised anymore. After all, it's not the first time that the master has made breakthroughs in a row. Last time, he skipped the whole body state and reached the immortal state. Continuous breakthrough is a basic operation for the master. Chu Yuan responded slightly. Afterwards, he tried to merge the two artistic concepts and wanted to complete the fusion of the two artistic concepts before Gu Qingxue woke up. Baiduan Mountain Restricted Area, above the stone tablet. A huge golden, celestial dragon stretches across the sky, exuding the majesty of the emperor, and eminent monks of celestial dragons sit on it and meditate, reciting the mysteries of Buddhist scriptures. All of a sudden, the sky was refracted by golden light, attracting many eminent monks to look over. The eyes of the skinny first half of Buddha and the fat second half of Buddha sitting in front showed joy. The second half Buddha said happily, "It's the third half Buddha and Yeja Buddha son of Lane Sacred Land. Welcome quickly." Soon, two figures stepping on the lotus platform landed on the Tianlong Zen staff. The one who is quite obese, with bare chest and belly, and always has a smiling smile on his face, is naturally the third half Buddha of Tenryuji Temple. The other one is tall, male and female, with a white face, a red mole between the eyebrows, two pairs of slender palms folded together, and a faint smile on his face. Naturally, he is the so-called Yejia Buddha's son. He is wearing a white monk robe, arms exposed. The eminent monks of Tianlong Temple paid homage to Yejia Buddha one after another. The 3.5 Buddhas were all very polite. Their gestures were full of compliments and flattery. "Buddha, do you need to enter the restricted area to search?" After chatting for a while, the first half Buddha asked respectfully, "Wait for 10.5 months for the time being. If you still haven't come out, it's not too late to go in and search. Anyway, it won't waste much time." "Why?" Yejia Buddha said softly. He glanced at the restricted area of Baiduan Mountain, narrowing his eyes slightly. He always felt that there was an extremely dangerous atmosphere inside. The cultivation technique he practiced, a dog, knows part of the crisis. He always felt slightly ominous. Because of this, he didn't want to set foot in the forbidden area of Baiduan Mountain. The 4 semi-sages, Yekabuddha is even more unfathomable. Chu Yuan, you must not come out." Behind Tianlong's Zen staff, Yu Qianni prayed in his heart. She didn't expect that Tianlong Temple would go so far in order to kill Chu Yuan. Forget about 3 half Buddhas, and even invited a Buddhist disciple from Sacred Land. She has also come into contact with many Sacred Land characters before. Each one is not simple, and various methods emerge and endlessly. It is difficult to deal with. In the past, She was fighting against a character from Sacred Land, but she was beaten until her physique was scrapped, her cultivation base plummeted, and she almost fell on the spot. It's just luck that he saved his life. It seems that Tianlong Temple is also afraid that Chu Yuan is really the reincarnation of the ancient saint. I have to say that Tianlong Temple is really cautious and domineering, and it is not unreasonable to survive in the world. Yu Tian said in his heart, I don't know how Chu Yuan is now, whether he has found Qingxue. The situation of Qingxue has improved recently. Yu Qianni glanced at the two soul lamps in front of him and thought, one belongs to Chu Yuan and the other belongs to Gu Qingxue. Chu Yuan's Tianlong Temple needs to be sure at any time. Chu Yuan. Did Yuan fall due to other accidents? As for Gu Qingxue's, she also brought it with her at hand. I heard that it is also a 9 heavens cold body. If you encounter it, kill it together. Otherwise, it would be quite troublesome if he grows up and seeks revenge from Tianlong Temple. The purpose of Tenryuji Temple is to be clear about all possible threats. Before, Gu Qingxue's soul lamp was flickering and dim, but now it has returned to normal. This also made Yu Qianni breathe a sigh of relief. Perhaps it was Chu Yuan who found Qingxue and rescued her from the crisis. However, don't come out. Otherwise, it will be miserable. Even if Chu Yuan is the reincarnation of the ancient saint, Yu Qianni doesn't think that Chu Yuan can match so many half-Buddhas and Yejia Buddha-sons in a short period of time. I still have a chance to make a move, but once I make a move, it will inevitably cause old injuries. At that time, I can only die with hatred, and the time is short, that's all. Number 7. If Chu Yuan really comes out with Qingxue, then I will go all out and take them away. Yu Qianni decided. In the past 4.8 days, she was injured too badly. Once she exploded with great strength, she would definitely fall. Moreover, she is not sure how long it will last. Maybe a stick of incense, or maybe just a few breaths. Therefore, knowing that Gu Qingxue might have gone to the 3 restricted areas, she did not set foot there. Because her current cultivation base is only the pinnacle of the 9th stage of the Soul Palace realm, and she can only display such strength normally. If the strength of the past is unleashed, it will fade away quickly. When the time comes, if Gu Qingxue is not found, she will perish. That is death in vain. 2. The situation is different, no matter whether it is Chu Yuan who came out or brought Gu Qingxue. Even if she falls, she will not die in vain. Nearly 2 days passed. The entrances to the 3 restricted areas are above the head of the wild dragon. Chu Yuan beamed and said with a smile, finally, the artistic conception of life and death has been integrated into a small one, cultivation-based breakthrough. Boom! Immortal 9th stage. Immortal realm 9th stage peak. It has reached the extreme of the immortal realm. At this time, an extremely weak murmur suddenly reached Chu Yuan's ears. He couldn't help but look down, only to see the long eyelashes moved slightly on the face of the country and the city. Chu Yuan suddenly showed a smile and said, finally, I'm about to wake up. He had just finished speaking. Gu Qingxue's white eyelids moved slowly.